Welcome back to Dirt Sociable. We got another special guest, Chad Rayford, 2023 Pro-spec Champion. I think we got a lot to talk about with the current series, the past series, history, everything in between. It's excited to get this conversation started. And how we typically do it, we do engine warm-up, which is just you give us a brief overview of how you got into racing and how your whole kind of career or, your involvement all got started and all laid out.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, let's hear it.
So I basically got started, my uncle Rick started racing good old boys way back in the day. And him and his buddy Andy, he was his co-driver. So he built a good old boys car. They seen Crandon, they heard about Crandon, went up there, partied one time. And
what year was this for the good old boys?
It was back in the 80s.
Okay.
So yeah, back in the heydays of good old boys.
So was this still like the track type good old boys?
This was on the current track.
Okay.
Yes.
So it wasn't like the one.
No, it wasn't the woods.
Okay.
So,
not that long ago.
Not that long ago, yeah. It was in the 70s. But
yeah.
So they got into it, and my dad started going, so he brought me with. I was a little kid, going, checking this out, and just fell in love with off-road racing, short course off-road racing. And as a little kid, I vowed this is what I'm going to do someday. So followed my uncle up through the ranks. He went from good old boys to light buggy to class 6 to 8S. And then I started helping the Zillish brothers in the class 13. But that whole time I wanted to race off-road, but we didn't have any money, so I couldn't afford it. So I started racing snowmobiles as a kind of a side thing to someday hopefully race off-road. My uncles had a dealership in Wausau, sold Skidoo, so I started racing Skidoo at 17. Went behind my parents' back, got a loan from a buddy basically, bought my first snowmobile brand new, and went racing. And the rest is kind of history.
Awesome. So when did you first get into the off-road as a driver?
Well, I actually started as a co-driver.
Co-driver, okay.
Yep, in light buggy. Back then it was 11S and 11D.
Okay.
And I actually rode with the Oberg brothers. I was a little kid back then, so I didn't weigh anything. So they loved me as a passenger. So I rode on, I think it was Saturdays. And then rode with each of them off and on, kind of. And then my buddy Pete Koleski started racing, so I started riding with him. And I lost my seat to him, to my buddy Mike Garvin. Okay. So then I went for a number of years not riding in anything. And then helping teams, like I said, Zillish Brothers Racing, helped them for a lot of years. That was actually where I helped build my first truck, class 13 truck. So got a lot of experience with that. And but I didn't actually physically race. Actually, my first race was Pete Koleski. That was the last soda race in existence in 97.
Okay.
And he didn't want to race it. So me and Mike were going to split time. And so I raced 11D on Saturday in Chilton. And Mike rode with me, and after that race, we ended up getting third out of 30-some cars. First time ever driving a car. Never practiced it, nothing.
Yeah. Awesome.
And he's like, you're racing tomorrow. I'm not racing. So he let me race Sunday, got third again. And it was Andy Mortar, Glenn Matthews, and me third both days. Wow. So that was my first taste of that.
Yeah. So when you're a co-driver, I got to ask, what is your duties in there? Because it seems like you're just strapping in for the ride. Or is it kind of like rally where you're giving them directions or input?
No, you're just along for the ride.
Okay.
My one duty was to disconnect the alternator on the Volkswagen, so we had a little more power out to start.
Okay.
That was my only job. Plug it back in after the race to go through tech. that was my only job in the whole race. So
yeah.
And it's crazy too how they always you hear stories. They try to find the lightest possible people to put in the passenger seat.
Yeah.
On light buggy, 50 horse. I don't even know if it was 50 horse back then, but yeah, every pound matters.
Yeah. And I'm sure the vehicle weight was probably pretty high with DOM and stuff like that.
Yeah, the cars were built a little heavier back then. And that was actually Lonnie Andrews' Phaser chassis is what we were riding in. So
okay.
A lot of history there.
Awesome. So we have the sight lap then, which is we ask the same 6 questions to every interviewee, so we can all kind of cross compare and see the differences. So the first one, if David wants to kick us off on that.
What is your favorite track of all time?
Favorite as in watching or racing on?
Let's go racing on.
Okay. Honestly, Chicagoland was that Route 66. That was my favorite track. Yeah. It was a moto track, basically. Doubles and whoop sections and big booter tabletops. And it was just a blast to drive. I got second a few times there, never won there, but it was just fun. It was physical. You're constantly doing something. It was at night. Night racing is key. I mean, it's better for the driver, better for the spectators. So that was by far my favorite race.
So which one on the turn side of this, which one's your favorite to spectate?
Probably I've been to so many over the years.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to say. ERX is probably in Bark River. They're probably tied as a spectator, just watching the good hard racing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those two probably.
How, little off subject, but how was the driving the Class 11 at Glen Helen? Because you said it was moto tracky, so I kind of thought of Glen Helen right when you said moto tracky.
Moto and a Class 11 don't go together. So, so honestly, Saturday when we did the doubles, that was brutal on the cars, but it was so much fun. I appreciate Dan and everybody letting me drive it. Hopefully I get to race it again. But the track Friday was actually a little more racy, I felt.
Yeah.
Because you weren't just going to kill yourself trying to do these doubles.
Yeah.
And I had a little better luck. They didn't overwater the track on Friday. I had a better tire selection Friday. Didn't lose the brakes on Friday. So
yeah, Friday you had a really good start. The start was key on that.
The start, I mean, apparently they don't start like that in 11, but I don't know, that's how we do it in short course. But the track was better, like I said, and that I just kind of went for it. That was the first time I drove that car was that day, 11 at all. So hey, we went for it. Didn't quite get the win, but had a blast.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
It definitely did look fun. Yeah, bumpy but fun.
Bumpy. Everyone's like, "Did you break your back out there?" I'm like, "No, it's fine.
It looked like it." Yeah. That kind of goes into the second part of the question. So looking ahead to the 2026 season, like what track are you most excited for?
I actually really like Wheatland. I've never raced Wheatland, but I enjoy the layout of it. It's got a high speed section, a mid section, a low speed, real tight, probably too tight in one spot, but it has all the elements of a short course track, and it's some big jumps. And I think it produced some good racing, and now we're going back there second year. Everyone's kind of used to it. So I feel that's going to be a really good one to go to. And
hopefully the rain holds off.
Hopefully the track prep's a little better this year, but, it should be good. I mean, I think I'm looking forward to that one the most, and it's first race of the year, so that's kind of big.
I enjoyed that place as a whole. Like, it was a nice facility, and it was, for our opener, it was fairly friendly. To like everybody was traveling, but still, it seemed like everybody got settled in.
The excitement was up. I felt for that because it was new.
Yeah.
Beginning of the year, Forrest Lucas built an amazing facility. Yeah. We were there from the start when we did the World Series races, and the track was not anywhere near what it is now. It was kind of just in a field basically with some jumps thrown in. So to see where it's come now, the world class facility and track.
Yep, absolutely. They just got surrounded by a big city. Or put a big city within throwing stone.
I like it kind of out in the country, but yeah, it needs to be a little closer.
Yeah.
But when they have the Outlaws there, like the dirt late models, they pack that place.
Yeah.
Like you can't get another person in there. So the potential's there.
Yeah, that oval track was awesome. Yeah. I mean, we spent most of it watching it from a TV, but
we did.
Right next to the track.
Next to the track, but yeah, it worked.
That's how it goes. Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. What track do you think is the toughest to drive?
Toughest to drive. There's a couple different ways you can look at that. I feel Crandon it's easy, but it's tough to be like really fast, if that makes any sense.
That makes sense.
Like it's kind of like racing a light buggy everywhere. Like you can't make a lot of mistakes because there's so many opportunities for mistakes, but it's hard to catch back up.
Yeah.
And a shorter track, it's easier to get that back. So Crandon's one of those. Bark River is very technical. You can lose a lot of ground real quick at Bark River.
Yeah.
I think the other ones, you can kind of gain that back a little better, but those two are the toughest to gain ground back.
Yeah, which is...
They just have so much high speed if a guy checks out, it's tough
exactly.
Yeah, you make a mistake in Graveyard,
Right.
And it's going to extend all the way to back to the horseshoe.
People don't understand the graveyard. That corner is so key.
Yeah.
The entry to it, the mid, the exit, you mess up one of those parts and you lose 10 truck lengths. That's why Bark River is the greatest. Like, a lot of people say it's their favorite because it's just so technical, but you wouldn't think it would be.
So what do you think of the most recent changes to Bark River then?
I actually was not there this year.
Okay, yeah, you were at another event. Yeah.
I was at a different event, so I kind of watched it on live stream, but I didn't really get to see what the changes were. That the dirt, they put different dirt in, right?
It's more clay, but they took the tabletop out. That's by the county road.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So that was the biggest change. And then a year or two before, that's when they took the rhythm or double section, whatever you want to reference it to. They took that out.
Yeah, I raced on the table.
Okay.
After the right-hander.
Yeah.
So I like that better than the 3 jumps personally.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of timed perfect where you could downside it real nice into the corner.
Yeah.
Into that gravel pit corner. So
when I raced UTVs, the double was kind of nice because it was spaced out enough, but I could see in a truck how it would be.
Definitely.
Just kind of more of a nuisance.
And that was the only year I raced a spec on that track too. So I was in the pro light when the whoops were there, the doubles. So changed a little bit.
Yeah.
What is one class that you have to go up to, like every race weekend, up to the stands to watch?
I mean, for me, it's Pro 2, especially when we have a stacked field. It's some of the best racing of the weekend, I feel. I know a lot of people say super stock, but I prefer the Pro 2. But Pro-spec is I didn't get to watch it the year I raced, obviously, but I feel Pro-spec is becoming that new class. And especially this year, we're going to have possibly 18 trucks out there. So I think that's going to be the class where everyone goes up and watches.
I think so.
Obviously, Pro 2, big trucks, V8s, that's always an exciting class to watch. Pro 4 would be great with 20 trucks. But
I think that's like the consensus now is if Pro 4 could get the truck count back up, it would be exciting to watch.
And the attrition rate, we need to fix that a little bit.
Yeah, I think we've said that 100 times too. Is that
exactly.
If they could all finish.
Then that would be the class. I mean, back in the day when they had 20 Pro 4s, it was an insane race, and all the drivers were top drivers back then. So it was very cool back then. But now I think Pro-spec Pro 2 is where it's at.
Yeah, Pro-spec we have, like you were alluding to, we have a bunch more, like at least 5 more joining, I believe.
At least. Might be more.
Might be more. some public and some not.
Some not public yet.
Yeah. But I always enjoy that class as well. And then the buggy classes as well.
Yeah. I mean, we all love buggies.
Yeah.
But it's just not quite that excitement of a truck. Yeah. Honestly. For me, I'm a truck. I love buggies, race buggies, but I'm a truck guy. I love truck racing.
And it's not the days of 40 light buggies out on the track.
No.
Like when there was 40 out on the track, that was absolute chaos.
I always tell the story. Mikey let me race his light buggy one weekend. I raced my pro light and the light buggy.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to start 4th row, I think, because it was the only race I did that year, Fall Crandon. There was 40-some cars. And by the gravel pit, I was in 3rd.
Nice.
But then I got taken out in the next lap, so it didn't end well. But that was so much fun, getting out of the pro light in a light buggy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like slow motion,
I remember at Crandon when they had 4 rows deep and just coming around turn 1, and also it's just like a ton of them flying through. It's crazy.
And the mentality of a sportsman racer is a little different, so I'm just zigzagging around, kind of like the 11 start. I'm just zigzagging all around and passing everybody and waving as I went by. That was a fun race.
Yeah, I think the sportsman mentality is they tend to think about breaking stuff a lot more, making sure that they can move on to the next race.
True, that is very true. I did get yelled at by a few people after the race, but
that's all right.
No contact.
That's how it goes. But you got up to 3rd. That's what matters,
exactly.
Right? No. Who is a legend of the sport that doesn't always get the limelight, doesn't always get the recognition, in your opinion?
Okay, that's pretty vague. Like, of all time?
Yeah,
or
who do you
currently?
Who do you think a legend of all time? Probably more historian than however you want to lead that into. But somebody that doesn't always get the recognition. That it seems like, there's always a good handful of people that are always brought up when it comes about talking about the sport and building the sport. But there's a lot of other individuals that.
That's a tough one. Should have gave me that one pre-hand. But can I say myself? No, I'm just kidding. I mean, obviously Dan was one of those. He's finally starting to get the recognition now.
Yeah.
That's tough. You try to look outside of your scope, your personal scope. So I don't know. That's pretty tough. I mean, my people, I was with Joe Zillish, I helped for many years. He was kind of a no name. He kind of was known. I'm just going to have to go with Dan on that one. I can't think of one right now. But he's, like I said, finally starting to get his recognition that he deserved for being a pioneer in the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a great one, I think, to pick.
Go with that.
Okay.
So 10 years from now, what do you want to be able to look back and say you accomplished in off-road racing?
Just to make an impact, I guess, in several ways. Racing, outside of racing, just be respected in the sport. A good example is we were at the Hall of Fame banquet a couple weekends ago and walk up to Rob McCachran and, he said, "Hey, Chad, how you doing?" I'm like, that's pretty cool. I made a little dent. So that's kind of a big thing to me, is just being influential in the sport, but known at least to have been a good addition to the sport in general and a good ambassador to the sport. And that's, hopefully I can continue that tradition.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Who is the highest skilled competitor you ever raced against?
Raced against?
Yeah.
I've kind of went across a lot of different driving, spectrums of current versus old. I mean, Jeff Kincaid was one of the guys I raced against. I mean, obviously we know his record.
Yeah.
He was one of the great ones. Chris Brandt, that's probably one that doesn't get the respect he deserved. He won a lot of races, almost won championships, just got one taken away from him. So he's probably a good one for that also. But he's one I raced against. Marty Hart, raced against him. He was very skilled. Say who else? I kind of was in that pro light spectrum, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to pull from that.
Was CJ in your pro light time?
I did race against CJ a couple years he was in pro light, so
Okay.
I guess that would be a very good
I didn't
one.
know if the time frames were.
He never won a championship in pro light, but won a
Pro
bunch
light.
of races and obviously moved on to pretty big things past pro light. So I guess he is a good one to say that. I raced against Johnny in snowmobiles. Does that count?
That
Johnny
totally
Greaves?
counts. That totally counts.
Not in pro light, but Rodney Van Eperen raced against him. He's obviously highly skilled. Trying to think who else. A lot of one I want to say I never raced against, so I'll go with that group.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Solid
You got
group.
you got a pretty wide group there.
Well, Keegan Kincaid I raced against for a bunch of years too. So
Okay. Yeah, that was a pro light days too.
yep, pro light days. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Unfortunately, I never was able to afford my way out of pro light, but
Yeah. Well, I went
We
to
did
from
all right.
pro light to pro-spec.
yep,
Yeah, I think that was a good class though.
awesome class.
So it's been brought up a couple times here, but the Off-Road Hall of Fame, we were both just at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you were at the adjacent table that I was at for the awards. And I got to say, we rocked that place.
I don't think they expected that, honestly. Like we brought the crowd. Like Dan said in his interview, our 4 tables,
Are louder than
louder than the 70 tables there, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
No, that was an amazing weekend. Kendall, Mike, and Mikey and myself. I was a very small part of it, but working to get Dan inducted, nominated to be inducted.
Yeah.
That was a 2-year process to get that to happen. So
Yeah, it's not like they're just you have to present stuff to them, and
they do not go out looking
yeah,
for inductees. You have to showcase them to them.
yeah,
And so a 2-year process, getting them in. So to be there finally and seeing the whole process. But the biggest thing for me was Sunday morning, coming down the elevator down to the main floor of the casino, just that feeling of this is happening today, and
Yeah.
I'm not getting inducted, but just Dan, one of our people, finally getting recognized for what he's done. It was just an overwhelming experience. Like, we had great people there, and all the people that put it on, this amazing group.
Yeah.
And just the history that's in that room, like, it was unreal. I've been to it before, but it was different this time, obviously.
Yeah, I've never been to it before, and I don't think that it will, even if I go next year or the following after that, it'll never match being a part of somebody that's being inducted, like being part of that group.
Right. I mean, that was probably my 5th time going, I think.
Okay.
I was there for Johnny's last year, but yeah, this was different this year. This was special. The people we had there with us was amazing, like past and present crew and, family and friends for Dan. That just an amazing night. Yeah. Definitely an amazing night.
It was a little bit surreal for me to be sitting at a bar and Scott Taylor's there,
right?
And me and Ross Hooker are talking,
right.
and Ken Stout's there, and it's.
Well, Phyllis Evans, Walker's widow, she was there, hanging out with us, like just Evan Evans, BJ Baldwin. I mean, Rob McCackern, like I said, it's just the room that's there, the people that are there is just phenomenal. The history of the sport is in that room, and the presence of ones who've passed are there.
Yeah, and Owen and Keegan got awards too, so that was cool. It was kind of like a lot of Midwest action happening all on that one time.
We're getting more relevant, I guess, to short course and the whole scope of everything.
Yeah, that kind of leads into one of the following questions. The Off-Road Hall of Fame is how we were just talking, how prestige it is, and it covers such a wide category.
Right.
A lot of desert stuff, even rally stuff, even like so much of like the support guys it covers.
Right.
So for Midwest guys and short course to get recognized is very few, far in between.
Yeah.
So who do you think in the Midwest is possibly up on the docket for future inductee?
In the Midwest.
Or even short course, I suppose we should
say Midwest. There's definitely like off racing, like non-racers also.
It can be racer, non-racer. I just obviously they give a lot of awards to different
special
spectrums.
Awards, right? As far as racers, well, non-racers, my number one vote is Creighton King.
Yeah,
like he was very influential in the sport in general.
Yeah,
he was a racer, then he was a tire guy, and then he came back as a sponsor of the sport.
And a media guy.
And a media guy. Yes, he was kind of a lead on that, wasn't he? On the forefront of.
I was thinking about it today, and I think when he passed, somebody made a post saying that I didn't know the guy that invented the zip tie, but I knew the guy that reinvented it.
Right.
And I thought about that same thing, and I thought, he wasn't the guy that invented doing interviews in the pits, but he reinvented the way you did it. Like the energy he brought and the way that he stanced about it. It wasn't like a lot of the times that when he walked up on somebody, it was, hey, no bull crap. I don't want to hear the sponsor stuff. Tell me what happened in the race.
Yeah, no.
And I think that, that's something that I try to take a piece from. I will never be able to even remotely try to match that aura, but I still think of that, and when I'm approaching people in the pits for interviews.
No, when he was doing it, we didn't realize how revolutionary it was. You know, the behind the scenes. And like you said, he just wanted straight to the point. And his personality could get anything out of anybody, pretty much. Right? You've seen that.
Yep.
And when we lost him, that was a big deal. He was one of my good friends, so
Absolutely, yeah.
that was a tough thing, and he was one of my main sponsors also. So.
Yeah, with grip locks.
With grip lock ties. So, but yeah, I go back and watch those videos all the time and laugh my ass off. Especially like the Snoop Dogg one. This priceless. The interviews looking back now, like we didn't realize how good it was in the moment.
Who would have thought Snoop Dogg was at Crandon?
He's down for the off-road movement. You know that, right?
Yeah.
But no, he's probably one of the big ones. Carl Renzetter, I think. I wasn't the biggest fan of him, but what he's done in the sport, by racing both classes and championships in both, I think he's one that's probably on a short list for a short course. Ricky Johnson, same thing. Like he did a lot in his relatively short time in short course. You know, he did a lot.
Yeah.
Won a lot of races, championships.
Yeah, I mean, the list is really long of all the inductees, and I'm truly surprised that some of those that you mentioned that are not already
I
on
mean,
there.
I feel you should be done racing before you get in. That's kind of my thing.
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah.
So I feel Ricky's still racing, but the rest of them, you know.
There's got to be that sweet spot.
Yeah,
we got to
there's a
get
sweet
them
spot.
once they retire from
Yeah.
racing, but before.
Yes,
Because
totally.
I think that it should be in that moment so that that person and everybody involved can be
Right.
enjoying it
Right, exactly.
and be recognized for it, you know, when they can.
Well, you still got to be in the, like I said, in the moment, living it, you know, living the lifestyle. So
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
So kind of circling back to Dan in there a little bit, what's your best Dan story?
Oh, I can't tell that.
Second best.
Second best.
First, your best appropriate dance story.
Man, I don't. There's so many of them, but I can't pin one down. Dan's just a riot. Like the things he comes up with, sometimes it's I don't know. It's he's hilarious and he doesn't even know it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I can't even think of a good story though. Put me on the spot.
I asked a few people this before his interview.
Yeah.
And I think Dalton said it best, is that the best times with Dan is when Dan's talking and telling stories.
Oh yeah, he's a very good storyteller, and I'm around Dan quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I get to hear every version of the story.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait a minute, that didn't happen.
I've clocked him on that too.
Right? I don't know. Probably one of the funnier stories. We were driving to Chula Vista for a core race in the semi. He's driving. I'm in the passenger seat, and we come up. There's like a quad. Or I don't know. It's like 6 highways stacked. You know, like a cross bridge thing.
Oh.
And we're in the semi, and he's far left, and we're probably now 100 feet up or whatever. And he hates heights.
Oh yeah.
So he just goes, I don't care who's over there. And he just cranks hard right all the way over and cuts like 20 cars off just to get on the other side of the highway. Because I'm like, driver, Dan, you know, driver, we're fine.
Yeah.
But he just freaks out. You know, there's stories like that. Like there's always something happening with him.
That's funny.
How about you guys? Give me a good one that you've heard.
Now you're putting me on the spot.
Right? See?
I'm not supposed to be put on the spot.
See how it is?
Actually, it's not really a story. It was probably more of a moment, and it was actually pretty recent. We would always, with me and my kids, I got 3 kids, we'd go by the Kenda trailer, and my kids were just collecting rocks and whatever, and they started to argue just as they always do, and pushing each other. And driver goes over there and explains to him that you got to be nice to each other. And it just felt like I didn't expect that out of Dan.
Right.
But and he comes back. He goes, you know, it's sometimes they just have to hear it from somebody else,
Right.
And it sticks in better. My kids behaved pretty well for that whole rest of the half a day.
Half a day.
Half a day.
He's pretty good at subliminal like messages, like, you know, just saying stuff and
Yeah.
have a different meaning, but putting it a good way, you know.
Yeah.
So I can see that for sure.
Yeah. So it was more of a moment than a memory,
Right,
I suppose,
right.
but it's one that sticks out. That
Right.
I'm trying to think, like for mine, it was even before I knew who he was. And I remember they had a bunch of like safety stuff set up at the track.
Yep.
And like just randomly walking up, and it was just how passionate he was about the safety of the vehicles.
Was it the vehicle or the seat?
The seat.
Yeah,
It was a
because
seat.
we used to have a little cart with the ISP seat on it, and he'd kind of have it sitting there, and we were pretty passionate about that, you know, safety. So
Yeah.
I could see that.
And just seeing how, you know, he was explaining it to me, who at that time I was just at the track to watch races. I was like, holy crap, he's like really passionate about the safety, and that was a cool moment.
Definitely.
yeah, that is cool. So, all right, getting back to Chad here. So you mentioned like when you went to the races, you were like, "This is what I want to do." So when you started racing, so in your rookie days, what was the reach for the stars kind of thought?
Well, I think everyone that races is reach for the stars is Pro 4. But realistically, my goal was always Pro 2.
Okay.
That's just it. I felt that fit my driving style probably the best, but I was never able to reach that. So that's still my goal. I'm not retired, as everyone says.
I put retired in quotes on our last interview.
Not retired. I'm on a break. It's I raced the Glen Helen, right?
Yeah, you did, yeah.
So that's still my goal, but the funding is tough.
Oh yeah, it's the biggest thing in racing, I think.
The top Pro 2 teams can have upwards of $1 million budget now. And I don't know about you guys, but I can't come up with that. So
yeah, I don't have that lying around.
No. So that's ultimately still my goal is Pro 2. Just the vehicles, what they are, everything. It's just where I want to be.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Pro 4, badass, just at SEMA last week, looking at Menzies Pro 4 sitting there at Amsoil booth, like that's just the coolest vehicles ever, but yeah, not obtainable. But Pro 2 is still my goal.
Yeah. I feel like you can, for the difference between Pro 4 and Pro 2, I can sacrifice the budget needs.
Right.
I would say, I think I'll be satisfied with Pro 2.
Yeah, I'd totally be satisfied.
Plus, you're most likely gonna finish a race.
You're
not gonna have mechanical.
Yeah,
often.
exactly. And they're way less work.
Yeah,
way less work.
Yeah.
So the first truck you helped build was a pioneer for technology. Possibly it might have been on display at Crandon. Can you dive into that?
That's a Zellish one.
I don't know about technology, but
well, it had the first bypasses, didn't it?
Yes, Kurt LeDuc built us one of the first Class 13 with bypasses on it.
Okay.
So they're Custer shocks, and Kurt took them back, modified them, put first bypass. So yeah, I wanted to learn trucks. My uncle was racing Class 6 at the time. I was helping him. But I'm a truck guy, like I said. That was always my goal, to be with trucks. So Zillish brothers were in the same town as us, so I got to know them pretty good. And they had been courting me kind of to come on the team for a couple of years, because they could see my drive and where I wanted to go. And so eventually I went the year before we built the truck. They had their old truck yet. We raced season, and that winter I got to help build their new truck. And at the time, I guess it was like, holy crap moment when we brought it out.
Yeah.
Because we had all the new shocks on it and did all the fancy stuff back then. We had the big brakes. It was a cool truck. So that was a cool experience. I learned a ton building that truck. And now looking back, I could see all the mistakes we made on it. Now what I know now, but it's still, we won a lot of races with that truck. And yes, almost 30 years later, 20 some years later, I brought it to Fall Crandon 24, drove it to the parade, put it on display, so that was a pretty cool moment. I was a kid back then. So being able to take the truck to Crandon,
yeah.
Joe just handed me the keys, basically said, here, take it, have fun. So it was like a surreal moment for me. And seeing the crowd reaction to me bringing that truck back, that was worth it. The color scheme nowadays doesn't really go over that well, but
it was colorful.
Right. But no, that was cool being part of that. And we raced that truck for 3-4 years, I think, before Joe retired.
Okay.
But yeah, just that was a very big building experience for myself in the sport. Yeah. And that's when I was still racing snowmobiles that was going on.
That is cool, though. That, you can look back and say, nowadays what you would have done different,
right?
But it still won races.
Oh, yeah, it still won a lot of races.
Yeah, so that's still cool, to see that piece of it, and then where the building of trucks have come to today.
Right, exactly. And the funny part is, I think that was the end of Dan's Class 13 career, but he still kicked our butt even with that truck. I mean, Dan was it was funny because he was kind of our rival back then, but I always kind of liked him, getting to know him. So It was just cool being that whole era of racing.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been in multiple classes, but can you put a pin on which one your favorite is?
Honestly, out of the ones I've raced, Pro-spec.
Yeah.
It evened out the playing field. Pro Light, I was in an arms race with other teams trying to spend money, and I didn't have the money to spend.
Yeah.
Most people don't know, I just did partial seasons most of my career because I couldn't afford to race all year. So I would do 2, 3, maybe 4 races a year until Kenda stepped up in 17, I believe, and I was able to do a full season. But switching to Pro-spec, everything's spec, so it was basically up to driver and setup.
Yeah.
And so I finally got to shine in that class. So that's probably the favorite one I've raced personally.
When you were in Pro Light, was it a manual trans?
No, it was automatic.
Okay, so
Well,
you got the Pro-spec.
Actually, you're right, because I did start in the 4-cylinder class.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah.
Yep. So I did race 4-cylinder for a season, I think.
Yeah.
Before we got switched to
Yeah,
V8.
because when we were talking about that chassis, it's the one of the chassis that has every engine
Yeah.
rendition in
Everyone. Yeah.
it. Every single one.
But that truck was probably the most fun to drive. Was the 4-cylinder Pro Light.
Okay.
It was the most fun to drive, but I was new to the class then, and they were spending 50,000 on engines. I bought mine used from Josh Hintz,
Yeah.
Like, so I didn't have the equipment back then to compete. I did finish second to like Jeff Kincaid. I finished like fourth to Chris Brandt, Kincaid, and Marty Hart in Vegas one time, and had some success, but yeah, I was never able to truly compete with those guys.
Yeah, that 4-cylinder era was super awesome, but everything that I know about it, they were ticking time bombs underneath the hood.
Which I had a Nissan, so Sly built our engines. They were bulletproof, but we didn't have the horsepower that the Toyotas or the Fords did.
Yeah.
So we were there, but
So a little bit of a balance of it's not going to blow up on the next
and
turn.
I couldn't afford engines, so I bought one that would live and did the best I could. I mean, I got podiums with it, so did all right.
Yeah, awesome.
So speaking of Pro-spec, like recent days, it's kind of been a crowd of the younger athletes going into that. Do you think it will continue to evolve to be kind of like a ladder in the growing profession, like up the scale? Or do you think eventually that will scale back to not being so much a ladder and more older adult class? I guess adult class.
No, I feel it's always going to be a stepping stone, like a ladder class. Like I feel like it's always going to be a place for like mod cart kids to go, and so on. That's part of the reason I stepped away, because I jumped into it. The series talked to me about it, wanted me to get involved to help build this class. And so talked to Ryan. I was supposed to race that first year with Ryan, but I wasn't able to put it together. Went in, had the year we did, and then I'm like, all right, I won. I'm good. Let's step away and let this turn into what it should be, the stepping stone. So I'm very passionate about the class. Like I want to see it thrive. I personally want Pro Light gone, because I don't feel we have a need for Pro Light anymore. But yeah, that's where I'm at on that. But it's controversial, I know. But
I think that's the cross when we talk to a lot of people. That is a pretty common theme. Like as we continue to try to refine down to what we think the ultimate class is look like.
Right.
It feels like the one that doesn't fit anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I personally want Pro-spec to be Pro Light, like them to rename it Pro Light and get rid of current Pro Light.
Well, we were on our way down to Oklahoma for finishing up that season, and we were cross-comparing the notes of Pro Light and Pro 2. Yeah. And it was like the top 3 Pro Light drivers were going to finish top, I think it was like 6 or 5 in the Pro 2.
Right.
And it's like, well, that's just too, there's not enough of a separation.
No. Well, there's been a lot of races that Pro Light's faster.
Yeah.
And that should not happen.
No.
A Pro 2 is hands down should be faster than a Pro Light. I mean, I get some track layouts cater to a Pro Light a little bit, but it still shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, well, they're, just a tiny bit narrower.
Right. Well, like 2 feet.
2 feet. No, it's
it's a lot.
It's not exactly tiny.
It's a lot.
It's narrower and a little bit shorter wheelbase.
Yeah.
And horsepower to weight ratio is probably
half the travel.
Oh, half the travel. Okay.
Approximately.
Yeah. So yeah, it's yin yang there, but
right.
Who in the past Pro-spec classes or current Pro-spec classes, or class, I should say, drivers, do you think will make it from all the way to the Pro 2 or Pro 4 as a professional driver?
Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword. You talking skill or financially?
Who do you think's going to make it?
I mean, Wyatt will make it to Pro 2, Pro 4.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I honestly don't know. It's budget based.
Yeah.
Skill wise, a lot of them can move up. All these kids. I mean, Avery might have a shot at going to Pro 2.
Yeah.
like I said, I've been on both sides of it now, so it's hard to say that one because budget restricts you. It's not just a skill thing like motocross or snowcross where you just bump up the ladder. It's not that easy.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to look at both sides of it.
Yeah, because if you go Pro-spec to Pro 2, that's a whole different ballgame budget-wise.
It's a big jump. Big jump.
Yeah.
So I feel it's mainly budget-based. Skill-wise, yeah, a lot of them, can move up. You have to be a good driver to excel in Pro-spec. Like it's so close. It's kind of like a light buggy thing where you can't mess up. It's momentum class. It's spec. Everyone's the same. It's supposed to be. So I had the mediocre equipment. Like I made it work. I didn't have the best truck on the track, but we went out and won and did what we needed to do. Won the championship and world championship. But so it's a hard question.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Wyatt's probably
Wyatt definitely.
He's going to be.
He's got both, right?
He's got the skill set and he's got
the backing.
financial opportunity.
Right. Yeah. And what a great family they are. Like, just the coolest people ever.
Yeah, who would have thought Earnhardt's, the offspring of the Earnhardt's would be
right, and just
diving into off-road.
Being able to sit down with them, every couple races and just hang out and talk. They're definitely good people.
Yeah, I think it's really good for the sport too because it draws people to watch off-road racing and get eyes on it that they might have never even considered it before.
Right. I mean, we have the greatest sport in the world. We all feel.
Yes.
But we just need to get the eyes on it and get the support to bring it back to where it needs to be.
Yeah. And I think it's something that Wyatt will. I don't think it's something that he's gonna, be a Pro 4 driver and use that as his profession.
They say they're going all the way to Pro 4. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. Awesome. That's what I've been told, and they want to stick around in this sport because they love it.
That's awesome to hear.
I mean, obviously he'll be in NASCAR someday. But
yeah, I think that he's bound.
His lineage.
He's bound to go
right.
there. Yeah.
But I think they're going to stick around as long as they can here.
Yeah, even if they got to do partial seasons.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So kind of going back to the beginning when you're talking about snowmobile racing, how did that play into like the off-road racing career? How did that translate the skill-wise?
Skill, a lot of the skill, Avery is kind of similar in this. In snowcross, the track changes every single lap. So you're reading the track, like scanning, reading the track every single lap. So I feel that's a huge advantage for snowcross rider and motocross, but snowcross, the track really changes. Like that snow moves around so easy. The dirt kind of settles down. It moves a little, but not like snow. So I feel reading the track and just being able to adapt to different conditions. Yeah. I feel like that's why I was good from start to finish in a race because I could start in the mud, end up in the dry, be able to adapt and read the track the whole time. So that my years in snowcross, that helped that immensely. And I think that's why Avery came out swinging this year in trucks, is she can do that.
Yeah. I think that's a valid point. And I think that's why you see, a younger driver that might have not had that experience as they get longer into their career progress in that because they are able to read the track. So I think that's a good call.
And the speed too. I mean, you feel you're invincible. You jump off a snowmobile or something into a truck, like like this.
Put a cage around you.
Exactly.
In snowcross, do they have spotters?
No. Okay. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think the pro guys do now. Okay. They just have someone in their ear. They can't talk back, obviously, but I think they somewhat do. I've been to a bunch of races, but I'm not that deep in with the team. So
currently,
right.
Yeah.
You go hang out with Hammer every now and then.
But back in your day, no spotters.
Back in my day, I was budget racer, I'd show up at the races, 2-place open snowmobile trailer and go out and win the whole event. Because back in the day, I used to race 440, 600 open on the same sled on a 440 and win everything. I've won 11 championships in snowcross and 150 wins or something like that.
Yeah.
So I had a successful career in that. So, but yeah, it was the same thing. I was a budget racer. Had buddies help me. Open trailer my first couple of years. We we had a blast doing it. And I actually was factory supported. I was factory Skidoo supported, and I went to Polaris, had their factory support too. I still had my own team, but they would help me with setups and parts and clothing, and allowance. So it's a pretty cool story how I got into snowmobile racing. But
So you're the legend of the snow. Got it.
I don't know about legend, but
Well, I don't know. What was it? 11? You said championships.
11 championships.
150 wins. That
I actually have a
Seems
world
like
championship in snowmobiles too.
okay.
So-
Yeah, seems pretty legend material to me.
There's a lot better than me, but we did well.
Yeah.
Did well.
Are you going to race any ERX?
Um,
I think a few years in the past you've said you're going to jump on one of the races. Or
no, I've raced every winter the last 4 or 5 years.
Okay, what
I
they-
raced, yeah,
was
the
that
Ditch
ERX?
Banger. Ditch
Okay.
Banger National. Andrew Carlson puts that on.
Yeah.
So I raced it last year. I just got over pneumonia last year, so I got my butt kicked last year. But was it 3 years ago? I think Andrew won. My brother Connor got second. And I got third, and that was there was factory pros at the race that weekend, like full on factory paid pros, and we beat all of them. So that was a pretty cool moment.
That's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, I've been racing. Came back. I took a lot of years off. We'll say a lot of years, but a lot of years off. Came back. They started doing this vintage snowcross, so now I'm back doing that.
Yeah.
I got a 1990s Indy 400 and my 2001 Skidoo 440 that I race. So we have a blast doing it.
Awesome. So with Champ now taking over some incorporation with ERX they just made, you're gonna go out to the Ditch Banger this year then too?
Yeah, I'll be there again. We actually have a local series down in Hartford, Wisconsin that's
Hartford, okay.
doing a ditch banger too. So probably doing some more of those. Both my brothers, Connor and Colin, race that also. So we get to do it as brothers. It's kind of cool. You know, we're all pretty competitive with each other. So racing against each other, it's fun.
That segues pretty good into the next question we were going to ask about the family dynamic and the RNS pit and how that all works. Actually, 2024, we camped with you guys in the pit and got to experience. You guys have a really nice, close family operation. Everybody's helps each other. You got there's like 6 buggies typically lined up there.
Typically, yeah, it varies, but around 6, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's going down a couple this year, but actually we went down a couple, then we added a couple, I think. So
Yeah. Some just exchange
Right.
different steering wheels.
right, yeah, pretty much, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Jack's bought Connor's buggy, so that's going to be cool this year. But no, the RNS Motorsports was actually my uncle's race team from back in like the 90s.
Yeah.
It was Rayford and Schultz Motorsports.
Yeah.
So he started Bill Schultz, which is the twins' dad, my stepdad.
Yep.
That they were teamed up racing. Bill would actually ride with my uncle Rick in the Class 6.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so it was kind of cool dynamic. So my uncle passed away in 2006. So the team, he had to quit racing like it was like 3 years before that or something. I can't remember the exact number, but so the team kind of went defunct a little bit. And was it 4 years ago? We kind of brought it back. So now Taylor Roloff is on the team. His dad was actually one of the crew members from my uncle Rick.
Okay,
So
yeah.
so that's kind of where that came from. So now they've kind of resurrected it and now brought it back to a successful team.
Yeah.
So the dynamic's cool. They all help each other. You know, both my brothers, Colin and Connor, race yet. Taylor races. Got another single buggy coming on the team this year.
Yeah.
I got Tommy in the light buggy, and then Jax, and not sure what Drew's doing this year, but it's just cool. The cool thing is they help the whole class basically. Anyone who needs help in the light buggy, they'll bend over backwards and help them, give them any advice they need, and they give them secrets. And I'm like, don't tell them so much, you know, like come on, hold back a little bit. But obviously they still do pretty well. So
Yeah.
Connor now moved on from light buggy, so that's probably a good thing.
Yeah. Everybody can calm down a little bit now.
There was actually people who quit racing because of them.
Jeez.
It's like,
they
all
can,
right.
they can come back
You
now.
can come back now.
That's why there isn't 40 buggies
Right.
anymore.
Yeah. Jeez.
It's funny the dominance though, because Mikey used to be the dominant guy back in the day. Everybody hated him,
Yeah.
and Matt was won a lot of races back in the day, and it's just funny to follow that trend. Now they come back with Colin and Connor, and everybody hated them now for winning so much. So they were a little brutal at the start of their careers. They ran into a lot, but they figured it out, cleaned it up, and now they're both world champions and champions. So it's pretty proud brother moment seeing the success they've had.
Yeah.
And, I've taught them everything I could, but they've went beyond that. They're phenomenal drivers, They're just very successful. So.
Yeah. I remember when they first started to where they are now, and it's huge progression and just their skill set is crazy.
They
how
actually
smooth they are.
The first time they drove a light buggy was Mikey's buggy testing at Crandon. I think it was Colin that rolled it that day. But no, to see where they've come that first year, and they built that first car, and then 2 cars, and then to see what are they at, 4 championships. I don't know how many world championships already.
Yeah, the count. We can't do a race recap without at least talking about them a couple times.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think Connor said the other day he has 50 some wins already.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's crazy,
right? For the short amount of time they've been here,
How old is he right now?
28,
28. Okay.
27, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I remember their first years.
27.
They always seemed to find each other on the track, and they were always like either on top, not like taking each other out, or on top of each other.
I spotted for them like here and there, and I always let them have it. It's a brother thing, right? You can't be easy on them. Tough love, and I'd chew them out if they got into each other. It's like, come on, out of anybody, don't take each other out,
Yeah. Or push them into the Park River fence.
Or that. Cost them the light buggy challenge race.
Yeah. That was the first year they put that protector fence up too, I think.
That was Lucas Oil did that.
Yeah.
It was in their insurance. They had to put that up. So, but
Yeah.
that was the race line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just had good memory, good muscle memory.
Right? Exactly.
So you talked about traveling as well. Now that our current series is starting to travel more, how do you kind of cross compare that to how you traveled back in the day? You said you've been around to a bunch of tracks. I mean, Chicago's no longer on the list, but we used to go to Chicago. Was Texas used to be, Las Vegas you mentioned.
Redbud.
Charlotte,
yeah. So
and that was just Torque back in the day.
Yeah.
Lucas obviously went way farther out west and everywhere. I never went to the Mexico one, but the short course one. But
Glen Helen, you said you've raced every version of that track too.
I've raced every version of Glen Helen. Like, I didn't race the Winter Series back in, when was that? 97, I think.
Yeah, I think
they had the Winter Series. I didn't race that obviously, but I've raced every Glen Helen track at the current facility. It's funny, I actually raced my Pro Light and my quad at Glen Helen in one day, 1 year for the works race. So that was fun. But yeah, traveling, it's necessity. Like, we have to travel. It's been great the last couple of years for fans and racers. It's been cheap, keeping everything tight, but we have to travel. Like, sponsors want it. The sponsored dollars depend on that. Our market is saturated right now. We're pulling from it's too big a fan base, in one area. It's hurting every race, I feel, every weekend, because they have a big choice. We go these 5 races, So yeah, going to Glen Helen, obviously that was a huge event. Like, there was a lot of question what was going to happen there. But
there was it was a gamble.
I've been to the Glen Helen night race when it was Lucas, and it's been insane. So I was pretty confident what happened was going to happen.
Yeah.
And the other tracks we've struggled, like we go to Texas, Charlotte, we struggled because we weren't there at the right time of year. Advertising was not great. We know it had no base. Like, we just went there all of a sudden, and then we'd be gone the next year. So we never built on it. Chicago, we did a few years. It got big, and then they pulled it. So, but yeah, traveling is essential. It's tough. As a racer, I couldn't afford it. I've made it work. I've rented open car hauler trailers to go to some races just to make it cheap. But it's tough. I mean, it's expensive. And it's not even getting you there or the race car there. It's getting crew. Crew is hard because now you got to have hotel rooms. You got to have flights. It's hard to get food in. So that's tough, but we need to figure it out. And the biggest thing is we need sponsor dollars from the series. We need payback.
Yeah.
Payback's what drives the sport. We need to cover our costs for racing. I mean, we're bringing the show. We can't be spending $10,000, $15,000 to race on a weekend.
or even when we went to Oklahoma for your championship, that was at least I believe it was pit passes.
Yep.
They covered
10
a
pit
handful.
passes.
No parking.
No
pass
parking
or-
fees, which I struggle with that. I understand the tracks need the money,
Yeah.
but it's tough for the teams paying for parking. You know, it's tough. It's a big expense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, after that, other tracks have followed suit with some
Yeah.
passes now too. Like, I think that has pushed pushed it forward a little bit, but I agree. There's still a lot of room to
Right.
go.
Yeah. If you can't give us more money, save us some.
Yeah.
Like all the torque races, the ones that they put on themselves, promoted, they give you 10 passes every race.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of money when you look at what it costs. That's what, $1,000?
Yeah.
Up towards $1,000.
Yeah.
You
Between
know?
$60 to $80 per pass, and
yeah.
So that was a huge help.
Yeah. It is huge.
yeah, absolutely. All right, it's time for the infamous Pro 2 top 5 greatest question.
So we're talking Pro 2,
Yeah, Pro 2.
not Class 8. Pro 2. We're going to go with Pro 2, right?
We can go Pro 2, yeah.
However you want to classify it.
So is your classification, as we've discussed with other guests, the when uniform chassis, a tubular chassis, isn't introduced?
The standardized chassis.
Standardized chassis.
That we still have currently.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll go with that, right?
Yeah,
That's a Pro 2.
Okay, we'll go with that.
I mean-
That's the Pro 2.
Yeah, we'll do it with Pro 2. So, honestly, the best Pro 2, not best, greatest Pro 2 driver ever it has to be Taylor, right?
That's my thought process.
I mean, the championships, the wins, the everything. I mean, this was Class 8 back in the day, but when I was a kid, Jack Flannery was like, oh my God, Jack Flannery, he was killing it, right? But he didn't really have the competition. When Scott Taylor moved from 7S, Pro Light, back, now Pro Light, up to Pro 2, which was Class 8 back then, he was like the next guy, right? That just started dominating.
So for the people that are not familiar with class like 7S, is that kind of similar to like what Pro-spec is today? Or
Well,
is that,
a 7S was a Pro Light, but it was frame rail truck, like stock frame rails.
okay,
It had a 4-cylinder with an automatic for a while.
okay,
That was a 7S. And Scott Taylor came from buggies to 7S and then moved to the big trucks.
okay,
So Scott won a lot of Class 8 races and championships. The one who went to the standardized chassis, he really dominated. I think he won like 6 championships.
yeah, that
In a
sounds
Pro
like
2.
a correct
And
stat.
when we're talking Pro 2, we're talking real Pro 2s. Big motors, project tires. That's kind of where Pro 2.
The drag slicks.
The
When
drag
they had
slicks,
drag slicks in the back.
A lot of them had drag slicks with no grooving in them. You did your own grooving, but
Yeah,
that's kind of what we call a Pro 2, I guess. I mean, there's so many different variations of a two-wheel drive big truck. Because the Class 8 back in the day was actually, it started out as the desert Class 8.
yeah,
And then they adapted it to short course. But the Pro 2 was like a specific short course truck,
yeah,
pretty much. Missing some details on that, but
yeah. So we got Taylor.
And I think personally Rob Mack in a Pro 2 is probably second. Menzie was there. There's a lot of guys that were there, but I think Rob Mack was solid. If he would have been in Pro 2 his whole career, it'd be different,
Yeah,
like Taylor was. But he bounced back and forth, Pro 4 or Class 4 and Pro 2, Pro 4. He kind of bounced around.
Yeah.
So he didn't win as much or championships just because he didn't have the opportunities. But when he was there, he pretty much dominated.
yeah,
And then, kills me to say it, but probably Deegan after that. Deegan kicked butt. He came in with Pro Light, Pro 2, won championships, won a lot of races. He was one of our arch rivals when I was helping Chris Brandt.
Yeah.
So I hate to say it, but guy can drive,
and his entertainment factor.
And that's part of the greatest thing, right?
If that plays into it,
That's part of the greatest thing, because we're not talking best, we're talking about greatest, right?
Yeah.
Like all those factors. So he was a showman.
we did an interview with him. He said he watches this podcast.
I did see that. No, I mean, I know Deegan on a personal level, so you're dealing with two different people.
Yeah.
He knows how to put on a show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he knows how to get the crowd. And I still watch his podcast, or not his podcast, but his YouTube channel sometimes. And he knows how to entertain.
Yeah.
After that, to me, probably Brooks.
Brooks. All right.
He came out swinging in the big motor truck, you know, the Project Tire, won his first race ever at Glen Helen in a Pro 2.
Yeah.
Like, that's tough. He was a Pro Light guy, jumped into Pro 2, won his first race, you know, and he won a couple championships. You know, he's always been fast, always been right there. He won a lot of Pro Light championships, so he's probably the greatest. And then probably Ricky Johnson. He won the very first Pro 2 championship ever in a Herzog truck that Jimmy Johnson just got out of. The truck was dialed that year, but Ricky beat Scott Taylor, you know, straight up. Nobody did that back then.
Yeah.
You know, and then he kind of bounced around too, took some years off, raced Pro 4 for a while, but then came back and raced Pro 2 and won the championship again in Pro 2 with Menzies.
Yeah.
So how many is that now? I lost count.
You're at 4.
That's what I thought.
I
guess
you have 5. If you include Menzies, did you?
I didn't put Menzie in there.
Okay,
I just
then you're at 5.
mentioned Menzie.
Yeah, then you're at 5.
Yeah.
You got Scott Taylor, Rob Mack, Deegan, Brooks, and Ricky J.
And I think Renzetter has to be in my top 5.
Top 5 too.
Like I said, it's tough to race one class, but to race both,
Yeah, that
You know?
adds another level to it.
yeah, it's another level. I mean, mentally, you got to get out of it's. I guess it's easier to do Pro 2 than go to Pro 4 and be good in Pro 2.
Yeah.
But you still got to switch your mental state. You know, you're totally different driving style.
Yeah.
I mean, from my era, what I remember, that's my probably top 5. I mean, there's honorable mentions, obviously, with Menzies and Keegan's there, but he never, I think he raced one season or a partial season in a big motor Pro 2.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly. It's a little foggy, but concussions, right?
We'll talk about that soon.
Honorable mentions from them.
Yeah. He just won his championship. And, you know, you mentioned Brooks.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like these last, 3-4 years, we've had the champion of Pro 2 has retired or left the sport. So to see Keegan, hopefully, I mean, obviously he's coming back again, but he's breaking that cycle. Hopefully.
Right.
But
Right.
real question is, why are guys winning the championship and then leaving Pro 2?
Well,
Money.
one of probably my top 10 is got to be Mikey, right?
Yeah.
And Mikey never had the budget, you know, built his own trucks. But the budget was a big thing.
Yeah.
He would have loved to continue, but it's same as me. You put so much effort into that 1 year, that championship, that you literally burn yourself out financially, mentally,
Mentally, totally.
everything, physically.
Yeah.
So I think that's a lot of it, is you probably get burned out. I mean, the guys with the big budgets and everything, I'm not totally sure. But guys like us, the privateers that do it and win a championship, you just put everything you had into that championship, that season, and you're just like, I got to take a break, you know?
Yep.
Well, you're either spending money to get that task done or you're spending energy.
Right.
So if you're saving money, you're burning energy,
Right.
which is taxing on the body and the mind.
Everything. My last year, that championship year, I killed myself. Worked 60 hours a week, worked another 60 on the truck.
Yeah.
And when it's not back to back, but every other
Pretty dang
weekend.
close.
Yeah, close. It feels like it. You just literally exhaust yourself, you know? And for me, it was okay, do I have enough money to go to this next weekend? Like the money thing's big, and that's mentally taxing financially on you.
Yeah.
So that's why I raced so many years, partial years, because I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So when you do put that effort out for a championship, it wipes you out.
Yeah. Once you get it, you're kind of like,
Right.
high note.
Right. That was a high note. We're going to take a break now,
Yeah.
So I think that's my Pro 2.
That's a Pro 2. You want to dive bomb right into the Pro 4?
Why not, right?
Let's do it.
My Pro 4 starts easy.
Any stipulations on it?
Pro 4, like we were talking, it has to be an A-arm car.
Yep.
The years are kind of cloudy on that too, because it got mixed a lot of those years. But my number one is easy. It's Johnny. To me, Johnny's the GOAT of short course. Like, he is the greatest, from single buggy to Pro Light, 7S, Pro Light. He raced one season Pro 2. I think he won one race.
Yeah.
And then he moved to Pro 2.
Even some motocross action. We can talk about that even.
Snowcross, motocross.
Snowcross, yeah.
Scooter Greaves. Like, he was known around Wisconsin as a badass motocross racer. Like, he was good. But he's my GOAT for short course, because he's done it all. He was very dominant during the time when it was the height of our sport.
Yeah.
The best of the best were here, and Johnny won. So he's my number one.
And he works on his own stuff.
And he builds his own stuff, works on his own stuff, and he still does.
I think that's an accolade to,
for me, that's huge.
Yeah.
Like, anyone can come with money, pay someone to do it all, and take the glory. But when you do everything yourself, that's another level.
Yeah.
For me, probably McCachran has to be second, because back in the day, he had this Nye Frank truck. Him and Nye built this truck, and it just dominated the sport. They actually outlawed the truck because it was so good.
Yeah.
Much like Johnny, they outlawed his engine, his multi-valve engine. I think that Toyota. They outlawed that engine, and he had to go to the NASCAR engine.
Yeah.
So it's a similar thing. But they outlawed Rob's truck, to get him out of the sport.
When you're that good, they
Right.
outlaw you.
Right.
They got to nitpick the actual criteria and technicals of it.
Right, exactly. So he's a close second to Johnny, obviously. Rob's honestly my GOAT of off-road, all off-road, desert, everything. He's just done it all, and that,
A well-versed.
well-versed, yeah. But I'll give him second in Pro 2. Then it gets harder, because there's a lot of good guys. Like I said, when I was a kid, Jack was so dominant,
Yeah.
but he didn't quite have the competition that we do now, or have in our sport. Walker was good in Pro 4, but he was very short time in Pro 4. He won his final season.
2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he won his final season, the championship, before he retired. That was cool. I was in Vegas. I was there.
I think if you weigh in Walker, I think a lot of the what he's done for the sport
Right.
and stuff has to be the weighing factor.
That's right. It's tough between greatest and best,
Yeah.
because that's a cloudy line there. You know?
And everybody does it differently
Right.
to where their gauge is there.
Yeah.
Right. So take that for what it is. But CJ's in there. See, you can't deny what CJ's done.
Yeah. What number are we at for putting him at?
I think we're at 3.
We're at 3. Okay.
So 10 championships. You can't deny that.
No. Yeah. 200 wins.
This upsets some people, but what I always say is CJ hasn't been able to prove how good he is yet, because he hasn't had the competition level that like Johnny has had in his career. We know CJ is that good, but he hasn't been able to fully prove it.
Yeah.
Is how I look at it.
And I'm hoping with the people that are moving up from Pro-spec to moving up and then Pro 2s, hopefully we see more Pro 4 injection of drivers that we can get back to that high level of competition.
And I really hope CJ sticks around. We need CJ in our sport because he is the best right now. Some up and comers with Henderson and everybody, but
well, last time I seen him, he was elbows deep into building something. So I don't think he's going anywhere.
It's cool. CJ he is in that mode of building now.
Yeah.
For a while, he wasn't part of that, and now he is, and it's very impressive to see it.
Yeah.
So we're at 3. Kyle LeDuc, obviously, probably 4. The cool thing about Kyle is he's built every truck he's raced. That's rare. It doesn't happen all the time. And he's won 2 championships now.
I believe that's correct. Yeah, I see him. When I think of him, I think of how the innovations he's done. Like
right.
All the trucks he's built, they were something odd was like not odd, but something new was evolved from him.
Right.
So, he was never just building another cookie cut truck.
No, and he had something cooking, when he got sick and passed.
Yeah.
He had the next revolutionary thing was going to happen. So, unfortunately, we didn't get to see that. But so I think he's on my top 4 for sure.
Yeah.
And after that, it gets really hard.
I feel like it gets harder and harder because you said before, like, there's still good drivers in Pro 4. I don't want to take away from that, but that level of competition isn't there. So, like, very current. It's tough to pick someone out of the current.
And that's where Kyle was impressive because he was on the tail end of the good guys, the really good guys in the sport. And he competed and won then. And he was the greatest. We're talking greatest. He was a showman, too. He created controversy and, rivalries. And so, that's part of why he's on my list.
I think Johnny's has had like 3 people that he's been like arch rivals with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting.
At least 3.
Yeah, it seems like it's just interesting to see how that all keeps on evolving.
Right.
There's always the Johnny
against,
and now CJ. I guess you can say Johnny and CJ against. You got to pick somebody else.
Back in the day, it was Johnny and Renzetter. Like they were.
Yeah.
Brutal, like they went at it.
Then him and Ricky Johnson.
And then Ricky went on to Ricky, and there's been more than 3.
Current day Henderson.
Yeah, current day is Henderson.
Current day is Henderson, yeah. But LeDuc before that, and
both the Dukes. I remember some stuff with Kurt also.
Yeah,
with Johnny.
Yeah,
but
that's what makes our sport
exactly.
To be honest, I don't think any of those guys are. Planning to burn anybody's houses down or anything like that.
Off the track, it was for the most part.
It's all part of the show.
Yeah.
Like I said, being the greatest.
Yeah.
That's part of it,
Absolutely, yeah.
Keeping it interesting. After that, man, that's tough. I keep bringing Renzetter up just because what he was. He was a polarizing figure, He was cocky. He could throw it down, He could back it up. Yeah. And race in 2 classes, that was pretty rare. Not many guys were successful doing it. There's a handful that tried.
Yeah.
He was the most successful. And like I said, he was a showman. So, yeah. Honorable mention, there's Scott Douglas, Kurt LeDuc, Menzie, Ricky Johnson. All those. Huseman was very good, but unfortunately his time was very short in Pro Light. It was cut short.
I think his apex he was at.
And their next truck was about to be built, which was going to revolutionize the sport, I think. So, unfortunately, they never got to that point.
Yeah.
So I think we'll leave the Pro 4 at that.
I think that's a solid list.
Yeah, definitely. I think that is a solid list.
I remember when we were making ours, and the biggest thing in my mind was all these guys were racing. A bunch of them were racing different classes at different times, and it was so hard to judge what they did when they were in the Pro 2 and when they were in the Pro 4. stats are one thing, but to judge what they
Right.
did.
And that's makes it so difficult. It's just not cut and dry like a NASCAR stat where you just won this many races. It's so different in our sport.
Well, even sometimes finding the stats.
Yeah, but there aren't many stats for our sport.
That's true.
I don't know how many races I've won or what, where I finished. I have no idea. I just kind of guess, You don't write it down after you do it,
Yeah.
And there's no website with stats listed.
We should,
No,
write,
because
we should
there's-
write those stats down. now.
We should.
There's just so many changes over
Right.
the years.
So many series.
Yeah. Like a lot of that got lost in the transition.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would have been awesome if like there's one person that kept stats all those years and you could be like,
There you go. That's your guy's new job.
No,
right?
we
Come
need
on.
like an AI bot. An AI bot to do that
Right.
for us or something.
I would have no idea how we'd even go back though, to some of
It'd be
that.
tough to go back. I'm saying from now forward, someone,
Yeah.
But even when we interview these, or like the past people, it's like when they say their stats, it's kind of nice to notate that. And,
Right.
Is it a Guinness Book of World Record type of level that we're making sure that they're exactly right?
Right.
No, but at least we have a stat
Right.
that we can go back on.
But even CJ's, I'm impressed. I don't know who kept track of that.
It wasn't him.
No. Right.
When we interviewed him, he's like, I had no clue I was coming up
really?
on 200.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it was Smith that came up to him and was like, "Hey," or Shane, maybe one of the announcers
Right.
was noting to him. Hey,
Well, what was that? The Henderson Instagram post. How he said how many 33 Pro 4 winners or something like that to date.
oh yes, I do remember seeing that. There's been 33 Pro 4 winners, and we're glad to be part of one of them. Yeah, I
Right.
don't know how you come up with
But
that stat.
even he's like, I don't know. I'm kind of relying on Ken Stout for that.
oh yeah,
So is that?
Maybe
We'll
it's
go with
out
it.
there.
We're
Maybe
gonna
it's
go
out
with
there.
it. Yeah, it might be out there.
Yeah. We just haven't talked to the right people yet.
But at the same time, is that class 4,
yeah.
Pro
There's
4?
so many lines in between. It sounds. I'm already getting a headache.
All right, we'll move on.
Yeah. So I guess talking about like wins, success, things like that, let's circle back. I know we kind of touched about it early on about like the snowmobile racing and the other types of racing you have done, but let's start in the snow and talk, through that career and just those experiences you had.
Yeah, the snowmobile career, like I said before, that was my option to race. I wanted to race, did everything I could to race, and that was my best option. With my uncle's owning a dealership, I got deals on sleds. Luckily, one of my mentors in snowmobile racing was Tom Rager Sr., and he actually just passed within the last month. But he was actually my uncle's Skidoo sales rep back in the day, and I got to know him. I was a little kid, got to know him. And when he became race director, he kind of was like, hey, you should come and, ride for me. So he hooked me up with sleds and parts and stuff and mentored me. And he's the reason I switched to Polaris. He became the Polaris race director. So he brought me with the Polaris. Won 11 championships. Stat thing, I lost count of wins after 100,
Yeah.
So guessing, what I won. But I'd race every weekend throughout the winter. I probably raced 5 different series. The snowcross, that was one cool thing about it. You could go to Minnesota, you could go all over the place, Michigan, and find a series. So I'd race every weekend just to keep sharp and keep in shape, because I'm racing against factory guys. For the most part, I race regionally, I race pro, and nationally, I race semi-pro, which is now pro light, they call it.
Okay.
But I worked a 40, 15 hour, same with I did trucks, a full-time job. So I worked, Monday through Friday, got off work Friday, drove 6 hours to a race, got there at midnight.
A lot of times in the snow. And
In the
whatever.
snow, yeah, snow and ice, treacherous condition. Grabbed a buddy if I could to come with me to help, So it was a difficult, but it was rewarding, because I'd race every weekend, win a ton of races, won, like I said, 11 championships.
Out of those 11 championships, do you remember the split of what sled you were on?
Most of them were Skidoo, honestly. Like I said before, I couldn't afford to open mod sled, so I'd race my 440 stocker in the open sled and win, beat all these high end mod sleds, and that pissed a lot of people off.
I could imagine it would.
The funny part is I got teched and tore down more for open than I did for stock with a stock sled. Like, I'm like, this is, they're like, we know, but we have to. Like, I got accused of titanium parts. I'm like, I can't afford titanium parts, like I can barely afford to get here.
That's $100 a pound reduction.
And my buddy Mike Garvin, he helped me a lot when I was racing, but he always makes fun of me still because back then you could write a check to registration, like you register at the track.
Yeah.
So I'd write a check knowing I didn't have the money in the bank to race that weekend, but I'm like, I have to win, So I'd go out and win, and they'd pay you before you left.
Yeah.
So I could get the money in the bank Monday morning to cover that check. I literally did that like throughout the whole winter. So that was motivation too, obviously, to win.
Yeah.
But like I said, my uncles had the dealership. They helped a little bit when they could, but mainly I was on my own. I'd bounce around to buddies' shops and garages and work out of their garages during the week. I had Brian Garvin was my mechanic for a couple of years and worked out of his shop. One of the kerosene turbo heaters, burn your eyes out. That was our heat source. Every night, I get home from work, go to shop, work till midnight. That was the entire winter. So it was a lot of work, but we made it happen.
When you get teched in snowmobile racing, what are they looking for? Well,
a lot of it was engine. They just assume. So I'd get the head pulled off and cylinders pulled off. I'm like, guys, I'm not an engine guy. Yeah. How am I going to fix this? How am I going to put it back together? Like, not our problem. So I started carrying like base gaskets and head gaskets with me and figured out how to put them back together. Because Eagle River was the worst because they'd tech you like the midway through the weekend. So to race the next day, you had to put your engine back together. Like, it was brutal.
That sounds not fun.
Yeah, no. At least off road, they tag it or something and tech you Sunday so you have time to put it back together. No, not snowcross.
Jeez,
that's crazy. That doesn't sound fun.
I think the stock truck guys have to do with that a little bit too.
Do they?
They pull intakes
right.
and stuff, so you got to have those gaskets and stuff.
Right.
But not a whole engine.
I thought you were going to advocate for that. I was like, whoa, for the stock, only the stock truck guys.
No. So they don't ever like drivetrain's not a big deal in snowmobile, or?
Well, like I said, I got called out on suspension titanium parts, so I'd had to take my whole skid out, take it all apart, and weigh each part.
Well, titanium's non-magnetic,
right?
And everything else except
this wasn't the most high tech back then.
Okay.
I'm just like, guys, look, you can tell it's a stock part,
Yeah.
No. Someone protested or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So they had to do it.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But yeah, I raced 6 seasons, I think, in snowcross. And then
what was the furthest you traveled?
I think New York one time.
Oh, jeez.
Minnesota a lot.
So do you take the upper route for New York? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we raced Lower Michigan. So I'd take the upper route around to get that. But we traveled a lot. I mean, I had, like I said, sometimes I'd throw a sled in the back of the pickup and just go race. And that's brutal, like when it's 20 below, we're trying to work on your sled outside,
Yeah, I'm assuming you're in a hotel or sleeping in your truck.
Yeah, you're staying in a hotel, and all these other guys have semis, You're like, it sucks. But then you go out and beat them.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you roll up with your sled in your truck and you take them down.
Yeah. They
probably made them real happy.
Oh, yeah. They were not happy with me. And you'd think they'd pick me up now. No,
they were protesting you.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was a privateer my whole career. Factory supported privateer, but no, it was successful. And then I just one of my best friends passed away at Eagle River racing, and I was there with him that night, and I lost my passion for snowcross because of that snowmobile racing. I just needed a break,
Yeah.
So I started motocross race, ATV motocross. And that's funny because that's actually my connection to Van and Huvels. because Dan Jr. was racing quads and we got to be buddies, and he brought me on over the shop more and more, and I just ended up being on the Flying Dutchman team and ended up helping Dan Driver for a couple of years, and then Dan Jr. actually got a pro light, so I was his crew chief for that.
Yeah.
And then that's when me and Mikey became pretty good friends. And
because age-wise, you're pretty close to. Are you closer to junior?
Junior, yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So, but realized me and Mikey were more aligned on what we did and liked and thought, so the rest is kind of history. But the funny thing is I actually raced motocross, HV motocross on Kendas, won 2 championships on Kenda on motocross before the truck thing. So
yeah,
it's kind of cool to connect all that.
Yeah,
So,
you've been using the word likely as the poster boy of Kenda.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
So how many seasons was it? 2 seasons of motocross? Or,
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I raced 3, 1, but 2 championships.
Was that a lot locally or travel for that?
I did some nationals. I went to New Jersey and kind of New York, Kentucky. Went to Florida one time, I think. But same thing. It was expensive. So, but quads are a lot cheaper, than the truck stuff. So.
Yeah, you can smaller trailer.
Right.
Yeah.
Go with a bunch of buddies in one trailer,
Yeah, hopefully cost of parts is a little bit more down.
A little bit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of what led me into trucks is after I helped Junior, then I ended up starting helping Chris Brandt.
Okay.
And he raced Pro Light for a bunch of years. And Chris is actually, it was between Chris and Van den Heuvel's is what enabled me to get where I got to, basically,
Yeah.
with the Pro Light. I helped them for a bunch of years, learning everything. And then I got the opportunity to purchase a truck. Actually, my first race in a Pro Light was at Crandon. Got thrown in like days before the race when Fitz was actually racing it.
Yeah.
And his daughter was due that weekend, so he was not allowed to go race that weekend. So I was his backup driver, jumped in, practiced that morning, went and raced, and
Backup driver benefits.
exactly, not a bad thing.
No.
So yeah, and then ended up happening. That guy shut down his team, so I ended up buying the truck, and the rest is kind of history.
Yeah. So then that truck has been the same truck that you
Same
had
tr- I mean,
all
it-
the way.
Technically,
Same center frame rails.
center frame rails, yeah, center, not the ends, not the
front.
middle, but
Not
the
the
center
front.
frame rails. That's literally it.
Yeah.
So that is the basis of the truck. Yes.
Yeah. That's kind of cool though. You've been in that same truck, refining it and adapting it to all the rules that
Right.
have gotten changed.
Bunch of change rules.
Engine packages and whatever else, widths and all that other stuff
Right.
that has been changed.
Right. A lot of changes, and now to hand it basically off to Avery Hemmer and seeing the success she's had with it, it's pretty cool. Full circle,
It's really cool, like, to see the history of trucks that
Right.
are still in the sport. Like, so many trucks, and a lot of people don't know that.
No.
Just all the history behind some of the trucks and how long they've been around is cool.
Yeah. That's what's really cool about the truck scene is apart from the UTV scene, like the UTVs I got one that was in the first race that UTVs raced in off-road short course in
Right,
Midwest.
right.
And it's completely not valuable. So it sits in a trailer
It's obsolete.
They're-
because things keep on changing with that. But with a truck,
Yeah,
it's
you
like,
just-
it's just raw metal.
Yep.
You just
can do whatever
cut
you
it
want.
and rechange it.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing with, like, UTVs. The rules prevent you from basically being able to do it.
Well, it's a manufacturer base. So
Yeah.
it's which is, it has its fit.
Yeah.
It fits where it needs to fit.
UTVs, I've always been told they're a disposable toy, basically. I mean,
Yeah.
turned into a race car now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're
They're getting more and more serious and stuff.
oh
And we
You
can't
think?
we can't complain with how much they're adding to
no.
the pool of
I'm not a UTV guy, racing wise, but you can't deny what they've done for our sport.
Yeah.
Like in who they've brought up in our sport and moved on to trucks too.
yeah.
You can't deny that, and they've helped kind of bridge the gap in our sport to continue it on. You know, it's been a struggle for a few years with the sport, so they kind of bridge the gap for us.
Yeah.
And I think too they've kept some teams afloat that run other parts of the racing as well, and there's some guys that are still racing because that's an avenue for them that would be out of the sport.
Well,
if they weren't there.
The only factory support right now is in UTVs, so you know,
So it makes a big difference.
right, huge.
So there's a clip out there that says that if we had any race of a Zamboni or a dirt bike or a Corvette or a off-road truck or a UTV that you would win. But I don't think we've ever seen you in UTV, have we?
Not racing. No, I've never raced a UTV.
Just trail road.
I've been offered by this guy one time.
That's where I was going.
Zach Zukowski offered when he got hurt at Crandon that time.
Oh, okay.
He offered me to run his the rest of the year, and I said no, flat out no.
His probably would have been a better choice than mine.
Maybe, but it's not my thing, you know.
Yeah.
Which that's all right. You know, probably should have taken the opportunities, but what do you do? You know, this is not my thing, and I don't know.
No, I don't blame you.
I'm not saying bad
We
about
can still
UTV.
change that. It's just
Still?
in a semi-trailer.
All right.
It's been discussed a couple times. It needs to come out anyways. So
Yeah.
Well, I've been told it was going to come out. Someone else racing it.
Yeah. Well,
What happened with that?
that's rules. Rules, politics, all the other
Politics,
things. But so going from you bought that truck after driving it for a fill-in,
Yep.
and then it was initially at that point. What class was it?
It was a Pro Light,
It was the Pro Light
but
class.
it had a Croyer Ford in it.
Okay,
So I bought it as a roller, and that's when I put the Nissan in it.
so that's when you went to the
Yep.
4-cylinder class. Okay.
Well, it was a 4-cylinder,
okay.
but I put the Nissan over the Ford.
Okay.
So it was a more affordable option for me.
Yeah.
It was still budget. Especially back then, I had no money. So
Yeah, and as we were talking, they're more reliable. Might not be as much as horsepower,
Right.
but more reliable. Yeah.
again, that was the cool thing is you could outdrive most of these guys with a lower horsepower. You didn't need the big money, but you
Like
couldn't
if it
beat the
rained-
Kincaids and those guys. You know,
If it rains, you don't need the
right?
horsepower.
Exactly.
And it rains 75% of the time.
Torque, right? Take out raincoat.
depends on that's fun. Depends on what you consider rain too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I laugh when it rains. Like rains, and the fans are complaining that we're not out there racing. It's like we're not mud boggers, right?
Yeah.
We race in the dirt. I get that, but we don't. Mud sucks.
Yeah.
Some of my funnest races are in the mud, but it's just so hard on equipment.
We saw it at Anago when they ran.
Yeah.
Like mud is not fun.
No. I'll put it right here. I'll show you, send you a picture of one of my Crandon mud races. It's brutal.
Yeah.
And Dan was like the ultimate mud man. I did all right, but I never won in the mud really. I was close.
Yeah.
But it's brutal. It's so hard on trucks.
I know so many times that buggies have gone out before they put the UTVs out. They used to put the buggies out, and the buggy guys were just like beating their rock screen to get the mud to drop. That
Right.
was clogging it up from vision.
Right.
Track sweepers.
Or they would put them on zip ties so that they could break them,
Right.
and then just eject them.
I actually have a funny story. We were racing in Wheatland, the first days of Wheatland,
Okay.
and Mikey was racing light buggy still, and he was out there dominating the race, and it's downpouring, like thunderstorm downpouring, and he's just taking these lines, making everyone just look like fools. Like I'm spotting for him. I'm up in the spotter star. I'm like, how are you making that car stick, man? Like no clue. And I think he got to the lead. He's leading the race, and there's lightning. All the other spotters had left the spotter tower because we're up in a metal spotter tower, and it's lightning out. And I'm like, I'm not gonna bail on you, man. So I'm sitting in the spotter tower, like crouching down, hoping not to get struck. And they finally called the race, like, but I don't know. After the race, I think a couple of guys came over and they're digging through his tires, like trying to see what groove he had.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're barely grooved, like street tires. Like that was an interesting race.
Is-
Yeah.
The man,
Was
just
that-
man just knows how to wheel.
Was
Right.
that the same race that was it? Ryan Stengel got.
That was that same
Yeah,
race.
that was-
It was that same race.
We had this without disclosing that story too much because we'll let him tell it.
Right.
Hopefully. But we sat in the bar and we heard that story and
That was that same race.
yeah, I've heard that story 4 times from
Really?
like 4 different people, and all the facts keep on lining up.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I think that was the end of his light buggy days too, because of that race.
I think so. If I recall the story.
We'll let him tell that
Yeah,
story.
we'll let him rehash that. But so through how many motor renditions went through
My truck.
that chassis then?
What was the Croyer Ford 4-cylinder, my Nissan 4-cylinder. Then I went to the V8 and then the Pro-spec. So it was only 4, I guess.
So it was a carbureted V8?
Carbureted V8.
You never
yeah.
went.
347 Ford, yeah.
Okay, so you never went LS.
No, I refused.
Yeah.
I did not agree with that engine change, so I kind of boycotted it a little bit and stuck with the V8 with the carb.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so 4, I guess. I thought it was more, but 4 is enough, right?
4 is plenty for me, considering you just changed engines and trans
Right.
and
Yeah.
drive shaft and third member ratios and everything else.
When we changed it to a spec, we changed a lot on that truck. So
Yeah.
made a lot of different interesting changes to see if it'd work.
Yeah.
It worked.
All the right changes, I think.
All the right.
Yeah. So any other history notes before I dive into your 2023 adventures?
I think that was pretty much it, right? I mean, there was obviously more, but I think that's all we need to discuss right now.
The good highlights.
Yeah, a lot of race wins, a lot of championships, a lot of good times.
Yeah.
Met a lot of good people, through those years. Some of my best friends I've met because of that, So I think that's pretty much it.
So 2023,
23.
the championship. Man, the biggest thing that sticks out in my head for that season, because I was helped you out on your crew, a small part, and the ending of it was so climactic. It was like we were.
Are we gonna bring this up?
We didn't know if we were, because it was the rain was coming,
Right.
but they wouldn't cancel it
Right.
the night before, even though we knew this huge storm was coming through.
Right.
And then we bunkered down. We moved our pit because where we were was straight up going to be flooded.
Yeah.
And it did. And we moved right nearby the Van Eperons.
Yep.
And we
Up
actually
high ground.
Yeah, we spent most of that night watching the motorcycle racing.
Yep. Yeah,
Yep.
the Supercross.
Supercross, yeah. But it was like, that was the most intense thunderstorm I've ever lived through.
That was brutal, and we just went through that similar storm, like 2 days before that destroyed the track.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so we're like, yeah, this is not good for the track.
yeah.
So then, in that season, how did that last race for you then end?
Well, I'm gonna bring this up. Not like I wanted it to.
Yeah.
I got to the lead in that race. I was trying to play it safe and just follow.
Yeah.
But I just happened to get to the lead. Like I wasn't even really trying. And then I was just cruising, and then the competition started coming, and I was just like, go ahead, And the guy that was in second chose to spin me out in that race. So that put me back to fourth. So then I'm like, all right, I got to get going here. Points are getting a little tighter than I wanted. And then I was passing to third and hooked a rut and tipped it over on the side. So luckily they got me tipped back over and I ended up fourth. But yeah, not the way you want to finish the season, and especially that track. The track was brutal. Like the ruts in that track, you guys seen it. It was
Between the washouts,
the
the water puddles, and then where you tipped it, it was a track made for dirt bikes.
yeah, like dirt bike ruts everywhere. It was, and I was trying to tiptoe through and it just caught me wrong. And
Yep.
But also, like where you got most of your passes were in that same same area.
So I was pushing a little bit there, and that track, the mud bog we had, like we drove through a lake, in that track, like it was something else. Alec has the video up, of my in car from that race. So
yeah, that's actually on our page.
I've seen the in-car a couple times.
Mm-hmm. He did a good job with that in-car and shows pretty much everything.
Yeah, we go from
I
flag
can't
to
hide
flag
from
on
that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I think the in-car stuff is so great. Like everybody can do these banger videos on the outside,
Right.
but to see the driver working on the inside with the wheel, especially in Pro-spec when you got a shifter.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You're busy. Like that's the thing about Pro-spec. Like you're busy inside that truck. Pro Light, you're like second, third.
Yeah, just tipping it.
When you're doing this Pro-spec, like it's a lot more work. So.
I even like the ones that now you're seeing like the feet. So how they're moving on the pedal is cool to see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the heel to toe, we did a lot of heel to toe in the Pro-spec just to keep, because the power band in that truck is very small, very small. So you're constantly keeping all three pedals going, so heel to toe is pretty important in that truck.
Yeah, the power band's somewhere between wah and pa 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 pa.
Pretty much, yeah. There's like, what is it, 500 RPM or something?
Yeah, it's very narrow.
Very narrow, but so much fun to drive. Like that was a fun year. A lot of good battles that year. A lot of tight racing. Luckily I won the world championship that year, the Red Bull Cup, the championship. All the big races I won. Yeah. So it was just a very fruitful year. Just
a lot of check marks.
A lot of check marks. Yeah.
Hit that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that. The championship's cool and all, but winning a ring finally, world championship, that's huge. I've been watching that, wanting that ring for my whole life basically. So to finally get it,
so that makes all three brothers then.
Yep.
Have it. Okay. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The ring is huge. I know families that in their whole family they're still trying to chase down one. And
right.
That's pretty meaningful in off-road racing.
My uncle won one in Class 6. I won one. And that's what's cool. My family heritage, I watched my uncle go, and he made it to 8S, which is super stock now. So to exceed what he did, that was huge for me. To work my way up, get to pro, win pro championship, world championship. That was a big deal for me,
That's awesome.
And a lot of help to get there, It took a lot. Like me and Mikey built my truck basically. Yeah. So without his help, I wouldn't have got where I was, and Dan letting us work in the shop, that was huge, and pretty much everything I learned was out of that shop. Yeah. So to be able to translate that into a pro championship you can't beat it. It's huge.
That is cool, and like you got to play a part in not only the driving but the behind the scenes and working on it. And
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Engine Bob was always.
Yeah, Engine Bob built all my V8 engines. He was a big part of that program.
Even the Pro-spec, he was.
Yeah, he was
just
there.
helping monitor stuff and helping.
Yeah, he was the engine guy, just watching where he could. Alec watched all the digital stuff, all the data and all that.
I just gave Bob the information he needed.
Right.
I said, "Hey, red flag here, red flag there.
Right.
What do you want to do?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it takes a team. It takes a village.
Definitely
Really?
took a village.
Yeah.
I mean, Mikey was there helping suspension every weekend, and a lot of good crew guys. Dylan was with me for 7 years helping. He's a lot of good crew. In and out. So you get what you could. It's a lot to sacrifice to do this sport.
Yeah.
From
As
everybody,
a driver, crew.
Yeah.
Even
everybody.
a spectator.
Even a spectator. Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to all these races. That's why it's so cool when people travel. Like to Wheatland, and you've seen a lot of fans at Glen Helen, from locally.
There was a handful of drivers that were in the sportsman that we've seen at Glen Helen. That was really cool.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like you brought up, like a lot of people, and you hear it all the time, to race, they give up every single vacation day they have in the year.
That's the years I raced the full season. I basically didn't have off from, winter all the way till Crandon, or if it was after Crandon.
And even after Crandon, it just starts another season.
You're starting right back up.
Yeah.
So people don't realize how much you sacrifice to do that.
So, aside from Oklahoma in the 2023 season, what other highlight moments do you have that are mentionable, either on track, off track?
As far as me driving, or
just any highlight moments that you think that were, obviously you got the championship at Crandon with the ring and the Red Bull race,
right?
But aside from that, is there any other notable?
Winning that first race at Anago that year was big because the day before I got black flagged for no reason.
Yeah.
So pretty much it breaks down to that. A call that I don't think was correct.
Yeah.
So to finally win the next day was big, because we spent basically from the end of the year prior until the first race working building that truck.
Yeah.
So to finally get that win with it, that was big.
Yeah.
Was Anago the first race weekend?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it also helped set up the year too, where if you would have went, the black flag to not a good finish,
right?
It would have been tough to rebound back.
And I think I won 3 in a row at that race, and continued. I had one off, and then keep winning. So that was big. But some of my highlights of racing is both of Mikey's truck championships. I was spotting for him. Yeah. All season. So that was cool. Being part of that program.
Hey, you spotted for me.
I did. Yeah. I did spot for you. Didn't win that championship.
Yeah, I was like, wait, where's this connect?
That was actually
at Chilton.
Yeah, it was a Chili Willy deal.
That was fun.
We were in first until I blew the diff.
You actually were.
Yeah, and I looped it, and then
it must have been the spotter. Right?
Then I looped it again, and you were like, "Hey, man, just have fun."
Yeah, I'm like, all right, we're just gonna have fun now.
Yeah.
Some other moments. I helped Chris Brandt for a bunch of years. Technically won the championship in 2009 in Lucas, but got protested and got stripped. Part of that program. What else? When I helped Driver, 05, I think it was, we raced Chula Vista. Yeah. And that's when I kind of came on the team and helped build that truck at Greaves' shop. And then for him to go out at Chula Vista and just dominate.
Yeah.
That was cool to be part of that, just see him kick all these big guys, butt. And that was cool. What other moments? There's been so many moments. You tend to.
For me, even a lot of years just blend together at this
right,
point.
Exactly.
And you've been in it 3 times more than me. So
right.
The blender's on high speed.
Yeah.
My first pro podium was at Chicago, actually.
Okay. I
was in a 4-cylinder still against V8. So I was one of the only 4-cylinders and podium that race. So that was I think I got second. That was a big moment.
That's pretty cool.
Right. And that was, I think, my first real year in Pro Light. So to come out and do that, especially against the V8s, which were faster at the time.
Yeah.
So that's part of the reason I like Chicago, I guess.
Yeah.
But because it was more skilled, it wasn't just wide open and go, and more of a skilled track. So
yeah.
I'm sure there's more, but we'll leave that at that.
What track do you think that they should bring back?
Well, obviously I'll say Chicago. But
I was like, yeah.
I figured
Is that much of an option? That's what I would have guessed.
I do like Chicago too, and I've raced it only one. It must have been 2018, 2017.
I don't.
It's the last year that they had.
I've been
to
Chicago twice. For sure, twice.
Yeah, that was fun. Some of the other ones were actually Lucas tracks. Lake Elsinore.
Yeah.
That was a fun track. It was big jumps, kind of some high speed sections, but big booter jumps. It was interesting. And then Surprise, Arizona. That's where turtle humps got invented. The little moguls, on tracks. Yep. You just kind of that was fun.
So the offset mogos.
Yep, offset.
Okay.
So there's no
that
good
track's
lines
still around, right?
No.
No.
I think it's housing now, just like Elsinore. now housing.
Yeah.
I never got to race on it, but Chula Vista, I preferred Chula Vista 1 over the Quarry. So that, I like that track. That'd be cool to get that one back again. Never happened because, again, that's a housing development now.
How many
Common
tracks?
theme.
I was gonna say, how many tracks are now housing?
Right.
All of them.
Yeah.
Those are my main ones, I guess.
Yeah.
Tracks I wish I could come back.
So if you were the guy making the schedule for next year, which one would you add? That's still alive.
I would do Firebird. It's in Chandler, Arizona.
Yeah, it's got a local series going on.
Local series going on. Track's good. I've driven on. I actually took my truck out there for a Kenda event 3 years ago, I think. Did a bunch of laps.
Okay.
That one, I feel like that would fit our schedule very well. Yeah. And there's a huge fan base out there. And if we brought our show out there, it would be like Glen Helen, I feel.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
I think that's like the next evolution. Where's the next fan base that you can bring the show to continue to grow?
2027.
Yeah.
And Phoenix, it's a huge area, metropolitan. It's a lot of people moved from California to Phoenix, so I think a lot of those people are built in there, and they're yearning for that type of racing. I mean, they have their little local series, which is awesome.
Well, it can make sure that it keeps it alive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But if we brought our show, I feel like that's the next step.
Yeah. And then it just keeps building off itself. Then people from California, we gotta get to Crandon. We want to see
exactly.
Crandon. Totally. And they make the travel out, and it just continues to benefit the sport.
And we've seen that cycle with the core series back in the day. We started going out west, and bucket list had to go to Crandon. Crandon was huge back then. Yeah. So it'd be similar, I feel.
I went to an IMSA race this year.
At Road America?
At Road America.
Mm-hmm.
And talking with some of those fans, they're coming from all around, like Georgia and all that.
Oh, everywhere.
And they're like, oh, yeah, Road America is the Mecca.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, how can we put this as Crandon is the Mecca?
So, we raced there, right? At Road America?
Way back in the day.
94, 95?
I've heard stories.
Yeah. That was when infamous Walker weekend. He rolled over, was it 3 times in one race? Yeah.
We're consulting our expert here.
We're consulting. But that was actually in the truck the driver bought from Walker.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I think it was right after that, wasn't it? But he was out of control that race. Hit everybody, rolled over 3 different times. He actually had to write an apology letter to the series over that weekend. But that was part of the prestige of Walker,
Yeah.
So how does the track layout work for Road America? Are they through the woods, jump onto the track?
Do you know where the go-kart track is now?
Yes.
That was the off-road track.
Ah, okay.
Mm-hmm. They paved it,
yeah,
basically.
I've raced on the
almost
track. Does that mean I've raced on the off-road?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
Almost made it housing.
Yep.
Pretty close. It's
pretty
pavement,
close.
but it's...
Yeah.
And I found out this year that's the drift track also.
Is it the,
Yeah,
okay.
they use the go-kart track.
So we brought my UTV there for the winter autocross.
Yep. Oh, really?
And I am confident to say, because you go down in that little meeting room and underneath the gift shop.
Yep.
And they have all the flags of the car brands. There was not a Polaris.
Really?
And I am confident I might be the first Polaris that has been on Road America.
That's interesting.
Who's going to fact check that?
See what I mean? We can't fact check it, so I give it to him.
Yeah. I got pictures. The other thing would be a slingshot. But it's interesting to see how the off-road was once there. Could they bring it back there? Is there...
There's opportunity. I was there this summer for a weekend. And
when I was there for IMSA, I don't know what corner it is. It's right before the carousel. Oh, it's just
before
above
the carousel?
It's above the go-kart track.
Oh, yep.
So entering carousel and then the go-kart track's here.
Yep.
There was what looked like a pit bike track, and it was dirt.
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, not an off-road track, but something close.
I was thinking more by the beach.
Oh, yeah.
Just so we could sit at the beach and watch, Yeah.
That'd be unique.
Right.
Crew members don't get vacation time, man. What are you talking about?
They do not.
Yeah. So, kind of talking about like the innovation. You were involved with the short course kart
Yep.
innovation.
Yep.
So how do you, looking at the class now, how do you like perceive that growth and where it's started and where it now is?
Yeah, when Mikey and Driver kind of had that idea to do the short course kart, and I got to be part of it, we didn't expect it to go where it did, like it go from the short course kart to the mod kart. And then, I mean, the plan was to a stepping stone for the kids, because at the time there was nothing for the kids. There's no UTVs. There was nothing.
Yeah, it was light buggy.
Right. It was light buggy. So basically, you didn't start till you're 14.
Yep.
So there was an opportunity for that. So the first year was like an exhibition. There's 3, 4 of them out there. It was a race, but more of a show.
Or make sure this program works.
Right. And then to see the next season when they actually raced, I forget how many were out that year, but it was Carter, Gage, Jason. Was Braden and Owen out there that year? I don't remember. Owen came from that,
Yeah.
So that proves right there how fruitful that class is.
Yeah. And then its predecessor, which is kind of split into two because there was West Coast and East Coast karts, but a lot of like the West Coast known drivers have come from that
Right.
West Coast class, which is rooted from the short course karts.
Right, exactly. Short course kart was paramount to build these drivers, into what they are. I mean, Ricky G went straight from mod kart to Pro 2, But a lot of these drivers you're still seeing out there came from karts. Doug Mateg, RJ Anderson, who else? Ronnie Anderson. I was sitting down at SEMA with Amanda Sorensen. She came from short course karts out west, and Brandon Sorensen. There's a lot of avenues they've went from these karts. Bradley Morris started karts. Braden Beauchamp. There's so many names out there.
They had a movie series.
They had a movie series,
or whatever you want to call it. But
on the West Coast, right?
Yeah,
mod kart kids. Yeah, but they came to
Crandon.
They came to Crandon that one.
They were the West Coast karts, but
Yep. And they were fast.
But I mean, I just think back. The rest of us had to start when we're late teens, 20s.
Yeah.
Like to start when you're 6. Where we'd be right now.
Yeah.
If we started when we were 6.
That's a huge advantage.
Right,
Like you were talking about before, being able to see the lines.
Right.
Now you're seeing the lines on actual
right.
off-road racing versus snow and
Right.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, that's a huge instrumental tool in our youth to progress into the bigger classes. Like it, that's, I wish I would have had that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's pricey. It's so not every kid can get involved. I wish it was a lot cheaper, but it's racing. Unfortunately, racing's expensive.
Yeah. If you almost have to set that, almost not expectation, but you have to set that precedent that,
Right.
If you're going to be here starting out, as you go further, it's only going to keep on increasing.
And the price point for the cart when we first started, it was like $8,000, which was a reasonable. That's what a snowmobile cost.
2006, 2004-ish?
No, it was 2013.
Oh, 13.
13, I think. Yeah.
Way off on my day.
Yeah.
But either way, the inflammation or the inflation.
Right.
Well, and plus
probably
how it's evolved from where it started too.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like anything.
Yeah. Everybody's pushing the envelope more and more. Then, the expense builds up on it. And
one of the biggest things I've heard, because I've got a kid that's about to be up for that. So
Right.
the biggest things I've heard is that it holds its value.
That's one good thing with the cart. You have to go into that, if you buy one, knowing that it's going to hold a value. You're going to get your money somewhat back,
Yeah. If you trade in for a mod cart, you're going to get...
At least the carts like that. Trucks, no, not so much.
UTVs, no either.
Yeah, exactly. You're lucky if you get half the value back. Lucky, really lucky.
we were talking, what was it? I forgot who it was with, but we were saying it makes so much more sense if like the UTV class, you could just continue to use the same UTV and progress
CJ,
through.
That was kind of the
was a
thought
CJ,
with 1,000, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you were hoping yours would.
Mine was hopefully going to go to the
Right.
Youth 1000, but
Right.
politics has stopped that. But even that, it's every single year, clutches change, clutch diameters, gear ratios, even differentials, housings, all that stuff changed. That
With the model years, yeah.
yeah, which makes large improvements.
Right.
Like
right.
mine's basically lock all around, where now the other ones are like limited slip and, and stuff like that, and higher ratios, and just on that aspect, it just evolves too much.
Right.
But
right.
yeah,
And that's the problem with, like you said, UTVs,
yeah,
is the models are ever evolving.
it's the problem, but also the solution.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's you got to know what you're signing up
Right.
for.
Right.
But if you're say you got a kid that you're about to throw into, you want to grow into a Pro 2 or Pro 4 driver, your ideal path of it's the current classes that we have, what would you like plot out for the next?
I mean, you have to go to short course kart,
That's the first one you can get into, yeah.
right? Because the age.
I think 170 is like a year difference or something like that. But
I would keep them away from 170s, honestly. But the problem is, I'm a light buggy lover, so I want to try to get them into a light buggy before a mod cart.
okay,
But age-wise, you could do that, I guess, right?
from kid cart to, or from short course cart to mod cart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that transition works.
No, I mean short course kart to light buggy.
Oh yeah.
I can't think of.
Well,
There might be a year, but so the rules are so cloudy because there's the age and then they say champ approved.
Right.
So I think if you become a short course champion,
Well,
then they would let you drive a light buggy.
but Wyatt was racing a Pro-spec at 12. So,
There's also that too.
I was just gonna say, I think at this point, like,
but
there's so much cloudiness in the age.
my personal progression would be short course kart, light buggy. I know it's a big jump to Pro-spec. Yeah, it'd almost be good to go because light buggy is such a learning tool.
For momentum gear selection.
And just and how to race people because you're such limited horsepower.
You're forced to race them next to each other.
A mod cart is a bigger power to weight than a Pro-spec. I'm not saying they're easy to race, but they're way easier to race than a light buggy. So I'd want to see her drive a light buggy to learn how to drive, basically.
Yeah.
That would be my ideal path. But I'd also like to see him in a mod cart to get that speed,
And
Well,
still
plus
gear selection.
and
two-wheel drive.
Plus, you can do light buggy shit if you do light buggy. So.
Light buggy shit's the best.
Yeah.
Like I said, some of the most fun I had was light buggy. It's funny story is Mikey and I both said when we were done racing one day, trucks, we're going to build light buggies and go have fun. Hasn't happened yet, but
Still got time.
we still got time.
Mikey's got a buggy. It's not a light one.
It's not a light buggy. I'm a big fan of the single buggy car,
Yeah.
like all of the elements of a single buggy, but light buggy is so cool. Like anyone that trash talks light buggy doesn't know what's up.
Yeah.
Like it is the coolest class in off road.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see if I had a kid, I'd like to see him go from short course to light buggy
Yeah.
because I feel that's the best teaching avenue.
I would say the only caveat to that is if the dad in the situation is like not mechanically inclined. Short course kart is a nightmare. Light buggy's a nightmare.
Yeah, maybe.
So
You're
you're
not,
But
saying.
it's not. But also,
So then you're saying take
got-
the UTV path?
you possibly. But
to me,
also,
the UTV is a nightmare.
Yeah.
yeah. But also, they got the mechanic's gonna have to prepare because truck class is a nightmare.
Well, I was gonna say
itself.
that's with any class
That's-
in short course.
Yeah,
You
gotta
start
be-
learning.
You got to be able to pull a clutch
Right.
out and change a third number and
Right.
everything else.
So I don't really
Actually,
count that.
so you're completely correct.
But my transition from light buggy to mod cart to spec might be a little awkward.
I think mod cart to spec is
Yes,
a really good transition.
but I'd want to see that light buggy tool in there. I feel that will. But
that helps them with a bigger body, too.
Right.
Like,
right.
but then they go back down to a smaller body. Yeah,
That's what I mean.
What do you do?
That's kind of a weird avenue, but
Yeah.
Everyone needs to drive a light buggy. Like, I don't know. Nobody gets out of a light buggy and says that was the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
They're all saying that was the coolest race ever. Yeah.
I've never been in a buggy, or I've driven one out of a trailer, but and a tech.
There you go.
I drove Chisels to tech, and I have Alcox's still owes me one race, and they're single buggies, so maybe I need to redeem my one race.
Well, like you said before, there is a single buggy sitting somewhere.
That is true. Maybe I can swindle some ways.
We always talked about an all-star car, so
Yeah.
that might be the all-star car.
That's a pretty tall list to put me on an all-star list.
You were before self-proclaimed first Polaris on
Yeah,
On Road America.
There you
So
go.
there we go.
That's a
There's
big
my
deal.
all-star.
you were involved in the first race, UTV race in short course, right?
That's true, yeah.
So
think
I
even
guess
I might even taken a
all-star?
top 5, I believe, on that.
There you go, all-star.
All right.
Self-proclaimed.
Done.
Well, you proclaimed
You
it.
have to. You have to talk me into it though. You got to talk somebody else into it.
So you go spec, and then, assuming Pro Light's not there, Pro 2, and then,
I don't see any need to go to Pro Light.
yeah.
I go. Again, that comes with a financial thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the progression because if you're good in a Pro spec, you're going to be good in a Pro 2. I feel.
Yeah.
Decent, That's going to prepare you better than some classes, some avenues. So,
Yeah. I think the manual trans,
right.
gear selection, ratio selection, suspension's a big deal in there, too.
Right. I wish Pro 2, they used to be able to have a manual trans in a Pro 2.
Yeah.
They switched that back. I don't even know when that was.
I think that was when the big motors came in. They needed the larger trans, auto trans to absorb higher horsepowers.
They had the big motors they have big motors with 14.5s or with manual.
I don't think anybody did it.
I know Renzetter did for a while.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's my path.
I like it.
It's a little weird, but I just look at driver development. Is
Yeah.
my main focus on that.
If they could be put into a light buggy younger,
That
would you surpass the short course cart?
yeah, but you're not gonna race light buggy at 6.
Well,
I think
you need a clutch master that's uniquely built.
Right.
I was going to say, I think it's like the short course is there for teaching the fundamentals of racing.
Right.
What do the flags mean? How do you handle
Yep.
different incidents?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
totally. Yeah, I think you're right on par with that.
Maybe not. It's my view.
So as the technology continues to evolve in the trucks over the years, what are your thoughts on just where technology is today in a lot of the trucks?
I, as a purist, I guess, and a privateer, I want to keep technology at a minimum because with any technology gain, cost gain. So I feel if we get too far, you're going to price everyone out. So I don't think so let's say Pro spec. I don't think we should have dashes. I don't think we should have a lot of this stuff. I think it should be bare bones. I raced Pro Light with autometer gauges in my truck. I never had data on my Pro Light. I did with the Pro spec just to get with the times a little bit.
Yeah.
But I feel it's a cost thing.
I think the series would do themselves a lot of benefit of saying, this is Pro spec, this is the
Yep.
allowed technology,
Yep.
and then each, like Pro 2 is allowed certain, and then
Right.
Pro 4 could be
Pro 4 is
whatever.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Pro 4,
But like they should start looking at the ways of this is the technology limitations we're putting in, kind of boxing those limitations in. So, one team can't deviate out too far because they have a bigger budget.
Yeah.
Maybe the Pro 4, a lot of these guys are complaining about money, so you don't want to get F1 crazy or anything, but, I know you probably would like that, but
He would just say electric vehicle. He would be,
no, we need to stop that right there.
I think that you have to have realistic needs that vehicles are now needing. Like the dash is like, is that really helping the driver on the track, or is it helping it when you pull off the track and you pull the data
totally,
and you say, hey man, we had oil pressure drop out or we had coolant that spiked. Let's figure this out before we just crap out of this race.
You were my data guy for that, so yes, that was a valuable tool.
Yeah.
That last year, but I don't want it to
go over that.
Where traction control and this.
Yeah.
The even the GPS. I don't know if that should be allowed or not. In Pro-spec especially.
Yeah, I think the GPS. The only thing the GPS really utilized for was lap times.
Right.
As long as you're not tying it into a traction control situation, which traction control is illegal, and I think we've seen people try to utilize it and find that it's not effective.
Right.
It's just you're never going to be able to. Road racing is like these dashes and data and everything else is so effective in road racing because that corner is changing 10% throughout the whole race.
Right.
Where off-road, that track is changing 120%, maybe even 200%, whatever you want to put the scale on to.
maybe even in one lap versus the whole race.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're going to get a hole that develops within halfway point. Or anything else, and you can't accommodate for that in wheel speed, GPS speed. When we were talking, even on test days, particularly because Kenda and all that, using the GPS to the actual transmission speed would be nice to gauge the tire traction, and just use that on a test day, Crandon backstretch from
to get an idea where we're at.
Yeah. Yep, just to see, hey, these tires are working or these tires are not. But, hey, that dirt changes 120 different ways. So good luck trying to find out which water truck's what the water truck's going to do to that dirt.
Obviously, the tire guys and engineers want one thing when we're testing.
Yeah.
Can't give it to them,
I just think the data falls, the best way to fit it in an off-road is engine protection.
Yes, and that's why I did it.
Yeah.
Last season,
even
Pro-spec.
Even if that dash is flashing at you, it's gonna have to be flashing 5 different warnings for you to pull off.
The dash.
Yeah, if it's got a flash, it's gonna have to be having a seizure for you to even glance at it.
Right. Yeah, I never watched that.
And even then, I've had teams that I've watched the data for, and coolant warning temperatures have come up, and they said, "Yeah, it's got to be it's got to be a sensor issue." And they continue, and it might be a sensor issue or it might be a engine blown up.
The one I really listened to or looked at was water pressure.
Oil pressure too was.
I lost the motor water pressure one time, and that's not fun.
Water pressure is more valuable than water temperature.
Exactly. As long as you keep water in it, you're fine.
Yeah,
and for the most part.
Well, even temperature can spike, but if you spike and then lose pressure, then we have problems.
Big problem.
Yeah. If we spike and then it goes back down, then it was just potentially cloggage or air, whatever,
and
blockage.
We found fuel pressure issues that season. That the dash was
useful.
Very useful.
Yeah.
To figuring that out. So I lost a couple of races because of fuel pressure.
Yeah.
Before we figured it out.
Yeah. So I guess technology has its place, but
it has its place.
Limited.
I want it on to be very limited. A leash, very short leash.
A leash,
short, very short.
Alex's leash is a lot longer.
It's the one the retractable one, right?
Oh, just keep going. You're good.
Exactly.
I mean, it does add cost. Every single sensor, you're just throwing $200 sensors in here and there and there and there and there.
That's I always Ken and Mike is a huge F1 lover, and I hate F1.
Yeah.
Because it's not the driver anymore.
It's
you know,
stupid expensive.
stupid expensive. Like
Oh, it's switch to this mode and this mode and this mode,
and
we're
I
running-
do not want off road going to that. I still want it to be a pure sport.
You never will, as long as the water truck keeps on running.
We hope.
Which water truck?
Any of them, any water truck. Particularly,
Hopefully they have a water truck.
Yeah,
well, there's
right.
two things that have to keep on running at Crandon: the water truck and the guy with the big arm that keeps that thing swaying back.
Every
and
once in a
forth.
while, that's Cliff.
Really?
Oh yeah, every once in a while, that's him up there.
Dang.
And one cool thing is night racing, less water, right?
Yeah, because you have sun.
So
heat. Yeah,
spring Crandon, maybe some night racing.
that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, there
So-
should be.
Some of my most fun races were night races.
I
It's just-
participated in a night race, and it was my worst race because I did not have any anti-fog on.
Oh, really?
I didn't have a pumper at that time.
Oh, that was your own fault.
Life was less than ideal. But if you have all
Definitely
that, I think that's got to be a fun time.
different things you got to prep for in a night race.
Right,
Different
exactly.
temperatures. Yep.
You're just, I don't know, you're calmer at night. It's not as hot. It's sun's not beating on. I don't know. It just seemed everything flowed better at night.
Glenn Helen's schedule was, I mean,
Perfect.
perfect for a pro, like schedule wise. Like you qualified, practice,
Right.
then you had time, and then you woke up. You weren't feeling rushed,
Right.
and you had time. You know,
Right. I was a little bummed the 11 program wasn't at night, but you can only do so much.
We did talk about mod carts at night on Friday. Del class.
Well, the Crandon, the mod cart racing at night back in the day. Remember that?
I don't remember that.
Friday
The
nights,
West
right?
Coast, yeah.
Oh,
West Coast.
was that when they jumped? Didn't they like made their own track?
Yeah.
And they like they turned on the downside of Skybox,
Yep.
and then they went across, and then there was somehow they made a jump that actually jumped back into like
Well-
the short course.
Funny part is we built that
Oh,
for the short course cart. That was the short course cart track.
okay.
So yeah, and well, before that even we raced quads at Crandon.
Yeah, quads and dirt
that
bikes.
track technically was for the quad track.
So they never use gravel pit in quad racing?
No.
Or? Okay.
We raced jump. A fun story. I raced quads at Crandon. I've raced trucks at Crandon. I've raced snowmobiles at Crandon.
Snowmobile.
Yeah, we raced 2 years. We raced in the national.
Buggy too, right?
The what?
Buggies too. At
Buggies?
Crandon? Did you run a buggy at Crandon?
Yeah, but I'm just saying I've raced quads, off road, and snowcross at Crandon. Like we had 2 years. The fun fact of that also is Johnny Greaves at Crandon was a top pro qualifier that weekend
Yeah.
against Blair Morgan.
Wow.
Johnny Greaves.
Wow.
He knew the track.
It's Crandon.
We jumped the Rancho jump. Yes, I call it the Rancho jump.
Yes,
Backwards.
That dates you, by the way.
It does. But
I've been well versed with the fact that if you call it the Walker jump or the Rancho jump
yeah,
or what is it now even?
it was Polaris, wasn't it?
Oh, I think it's still the
Is it?
Polaris right now.
But it's Rancho.
Yeah.
But we used to jump that backwards.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, because then you jumped that backwards and then you took a left
Yep.
before the gravel pit.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So
My memory doesn't work that way.
could you get behind the idea of remember Frozen Rush
Yep.
on the ski
It's been
slope?
talked about.
Yeah. Could you get behind that at Crandon?
100%.
I think that'd be so cool.
That'd be real cool.
I think there was rumblings of it.
There was. No, that was in the works.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what happened, but it was in the works.
Yeah, we need to get that back in the works.
That was, you got to get Jason going with that.
Yeah.
I think Cliff was the driving force behind that. Now he's kind of backing off.
Yeah.
So if we get Jason involved,
Yeah.
that could happen.
I
How
think
many-
your only downside is maybe attendance probably certainly isn't going to be a fall Crandon.
No, it won't be a fall Crandon, but I think it'll be decent.
I would say the other downfall is how many race teams are going to be ready that time of the year.
Well, it depends on how big the event is. If it's a Frozen Rush, big,
They will get ready.
they will get ready.
Yeah. And then also,
Tires.
Yeah.
Tires are BFG actually made all the tires
Yeah.
Frozen Rush.
That's a custom mold.
Custom tire.
Yeah.
It was very expensive.
I heard that mold is still available.
I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
It has
heard
to
that
be
rumor
somewhere.
too.
And then keeping the trucks warm. That would be another. But
They could have the new tech barn, yeah, because they did that at Frozen Rush. They're all in like a heated tent thing.
yeah, because you can't just fire these things up. Zero, because Grandin in winter is going
Is
to be
enough, yeah.
freezing. Below
But
freezing.
no, I'm totally for that.
All right, well, put it in the universe.
We'll try.
Yep. Alrighty. So we're back to talking about some wrecks.
Rex.
Wrecks.
Who had a good wreck this year? Dylan Parsons.
Well,
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about this season?
What about the worst one you've been in?
The worst one had to have been that Crandon, my inverted Crandon wreck.
I was just looking at pictures of that, and I thought I was in that picture, but I can't remember exactly where I was.
It's funny because I ran into Bink,
but
Brian.
the photographer,
Yeah, last week at SEMA, like, dude, you have to give me that picture
yeah,
because I want to frame it.
Yeah.
Put it above my couch.
print too. We'll put it
Okay,
in.
sure.
We'll put it in here.
Perfect. That sucked, but what do you do? That race, I need to explain that crash a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, 100%.
So it was the first lap. That was Sunday. I forget what year that was.
I don't remember when it was.
17 or 18. Anyway,
Yeah, 18 sounds. about
18,
right.
I think. So Brock Hager was leading the race. We came out of gravel pit. I was mid-pack, I think. It was the first lap. And he spun out of the gravel pit off the track, and he just stood on it and came flying around and came back on the track completely sideways, or, sideways of the track. And
Particular, yeah.
yeah. And he T-boned me, like wide open, T-boned me. I just happened to be the lucky one. Flipped me over. So I'm laying upside down there, and they flip me back over. I get going again. Not knowing to me that it messed up my steering. So I go around the next lap, get to turn one. I felt fine, right? Wide open, 85 miles an hour into turn one.
Yeah.
And pitched into turn one, and I go to correct out of it, and the steering locked up. So I'm helpless
Yeah.
at 80 some miles an hour, going sideways over the first jump. I'm like, this is gonna suck. Yeah. And you guys seen the rest.
Yeah. You're literally upside down.
Yeah. So the second crash wasn't really on me. It was, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't just
Decide to go on the jump
Right,
sideways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that one's probably my most famous one. Well, the Anago one probably got the most views.
Rhythm section and again.
Yeah, that was over 2 million views on whatever.
Yeah. You were like vertical.
Yeah. So that one I have an explanation too.
Okay.
We went out for practice, got the double-double, nailed it, timed it, perfect. They changed the first jump before we went out for qualifying. I did not know that. So I hit it the same as I did in practice.
Yeah.
And yeah.
End result.
Yeah.
And I think 12 out of like 15 pro lights crashed on that jump that weekend or something. It was
Yeah,
something crazy like that.
That was the year that they named that death rhythm section.
Right. And I think they got rid of it after that, right?
I claimed my UTV too.
Did it?
Not in the fashion that what you had, but
Right. But the funny thing is, neither one of those crashes I was hurt. The Crandon one, it broke upper forelink. That was it.
Yeah.
The Anago one, I ripped the right front off of it. We had it fixed, within a couple hours because we raced the next day. So my crashes have been pretty mild. They look good, but they've been pretty mild in the truck.
ERX. That's another one that falls on my list.
Which one?
That's where you landed on it was after the rhythm section, the Talladega. In Talladega, you rolled onto the concrete barrier.
Are you talking 23?
Yes, that was 23.
Yeah, that was nothing.
Well, but then you struck an oil line and lit the thing on fire.
They did
So
light it
that's
on fire.
something.
That was one of my 2 DNFs that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I thought you were talking about the other one.
Oh, there's another.
And that the split lane, jumping out of the split lane,
Okay.
I got crossed up and rolled it,
Oh,
laid upside down for a while, and then I got going again, almost podium that race.
nice.
I got 4th, I think.
Yeah.
So
I remember the fire one. Fires. I always remember the fire ones.
fire can be scary. I've knocked on wood, concrete, whatever. Never had a bad one.
Yeah, you drove that one to the fire truck.
Yeah, I drove to. I had to block the fire truck because he was taking off to find me.
Yeah.
So I had to drive in front of him and blocked him.
Yeah.
I think one of the worst ones I saw was Johnny's at Crandon,
That was
and it started rolling, and no one knew that he had got out on the other side.
right. Mikey had a very similar one at Crandon, almost in that same spot.
It was in the same spot. Yeah.
That one was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That one went up quick. We put a video up on.
Did you?
On his interview, we put it up on.
Yeah, that one was
Yeah.
scary.
That was in a
That-
cup race.
Yep.
Yeah.
That and the Redbud one was not scary for us, for him.
Yeah.
So speaking of wrecks, now that this topic has been out there from CJ, so concussion or health checks for drivers, what are your thoughts around that?
There's more to it than just checks. I feel there's a protocol you need to follow preseason where everyone needs to get scanned. It's how are you going to do that? It's difficult.
Yeah.
But you need a baseline. So then when you do have a wreck, they can send you back in and get you scanned to see if anything changed. That's the only correct way to do it because you can't do it after the crash for the first time because
You don't have your baseline.
you don't have a baseline. You have no idea where you're actually at.
That's how they do it in like football. And
Yeah.
In Supercross, they do that now. I think NASCAR, they kind of do that now.
Yeah. For sure, football, they baseline
Yeah.
all the players.
What is that syndrome?
CTE.
Yeah, that. So that's real. You
Yeah.
know? And most racers are badasses. They don't want to admit something's wrong. You know.
Yeah. I think most guys that crash are probably a victim to
Right.
saying, "No, I'm all right.
I'm fine.
I got black eyes, but it's okay."
Like I was saying, I've had a few concussions in snowcross that I went out the next weekend and went, I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know, but you could tell you're not quite right,
Yeah.
you know, but you're not going to not race, you know.
So out of your concussions, like the awning pull or
Throws that in
or
there.
a sled race or
Well, by far it's snowmobile race. I crashed at Lake Geneva one time, and that's the only time I puked from a concussion. Like, that was severe. I felt it for weeks after that. Luckily, that was the final race of the year,
yeah.
so I didn't have to go back out. But in the truck, we've built our trucks very safe.
Yeah.
Very safe to take a crash. But the biggest thing is our seats. The way we mount our seats, the quality seats we have, the full containment seats. Well, there's a lot of crappy full containment seats. You know, we use one of the best. And I think I've never had a crash in a truck where I've even been sore the next day. So I attest that to the quality of the truck, the seat, the belts. You know, I get the $400 polyester Simpson belts that are with the good latches and everything. You know, I have the good neck restraint. I have it adjusted correctly. You know, it's the good helmet. You know, there's so much to it that you got to pay attention to because most of us have to go to work Monday, right?
Yeah.
So I spent $5,000-6,000 on safety equipment in my truck. Don't bat an eye. You know, a lot of these guys complain when they have to spend $500.
Yeah.
You know, give me the cheapest thing you got. It's like, it's not the way to think, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's like one thing too, and I don't know if that avenue's there. Just like there should be a safety course or safety for every driver that they have to go through to understand, you know, what they're buying the cheaper stuff,
Right.
what risks they're really putting themselves into,
Right.
whether it's sportsmen, pros. But then, you know, once you get to the pros, then you can maybe start doing the baseline for concussions and
Right.
because they're going faster. and that's maybe more feasible for the series to do in the pro level. Obviously, you still want to keep the sportsman driver safe
Right.
too, but figuring out something in that ranks as well.
No, I agree with that totally. I mean, safety is a tough issue because how far do you take it? You know, how much do you make people spend on it?
Yeah.
And to me, it's invaluable. You can't spend enough on it, right?
Yeah.
Like the guy who wants a $100 helmet, it's like, what's your head worth? Mine's worth a lot more
Or
than
even
that.
belts. Like the guy that's going to Summit and
Yeah,
getting the cheapest
right.
Zap
It's-
belts or whatever they are. Like,
And the cheap helmet, yeah, they meet their specs somehow,
yeah.
but they're just cheap. I buy the most. I don't get the Stilo, but the Stilo, but I have a very expensive carbon helmet. You know,
Yeah, and I've had cheap belts in my beginning years, and it's sure everything kind of tightens up,
But they
it
stretch.
fits its spec. But you're halfway through that race, and all of a
Yep.
sudden you're like, "Whoa, why am I? Why can I go like this?"
the Class 11 buggy race, it's got a suspension seat with cheap seat belts, and the whole race, I'm tightening myself up. You know,
Yeah.
in my Pro-spec and my ISP, you cinch everything down, you're done. You don't touch it the rest of the race.
Ratchet your
And the ratchet
waist.
strap's worth the money.
Yeah.
The biggest thing with the ratchet strap, you can go too tight, so you got to be careful with that.
Yeah.
But no, safety. There's no excuse for cutting corners on safety. No excuse. Like the guys who have paid for it,
Yep.
And as far as construction of like your race vehicle, have someone competent and qualified to weld on your vehicle and use the right material.
Yeah.
Like Mikey's the only one I trust welding my cage together.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that can weld. I can TIG weld decent. I will not weld on the cage. He's the only one I trust, and proof is in the pudding. Like my truck, all the wrecks I've had, nothing's ever failed on my truck,
Yep.
ever.
That's huge.
Right.
Yeah, I'm an amateur TIG welder. I just do bumpers.
Yeah, that's right. I do bumpers, Nerf bars,
Yeah.
body tabs, I can do that all day.
Yeah.
But I will not do a cage. I've people tried to get me to do their cages for. I'm like, call Mikey.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. It's just another level of expertise
Mm-hmm.
and time investment. I mean, yeah.
Right.
And there's a very short list of the people that are trusted in the Midwest to actually get
Very
that
short
job
list. Very, very short.
done. Yeah. But
So,
short,
yeah, hopefully-
short for a reason.
Right. But hopefully something happens with, that protocol stuff. Like, I think that's the next step in even a lot of the pro guys cut corners. The top pro guys cut corners
Yep.
because they don't want that restriction. I know a lot of pro guys who their head and neck, they loosen it all the way up so they can get full movement.
Yeah.
I remember Jerry Welchel, like in Pro 2 days, would leave his belts loose so he could lean forward. Like when he passed you could see like the air or a gap between him and the seat.
Oof.
It's
That
stuff
does not
like
sound
that.
fun for me.
No.
Yeah, there's Pro 4 and Pro 2 guys that still advocate for non-containment seats.
Well,
And that just
I know of a
mind
certain
boggles me.
orange truck that still has a suspension seat in it.
Yeah.
Blows my mind.
Yeah, I don't know how you wouldn't
It's crazy.
go to a full containment, even if it's just ISP was the leader for quite a while,
They were, yeah,
and now they're out of business. I
out of
believe.
business. Chris, the founder, passed away, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, they're not made anymore. But there's some up and coming seat companies.
Yeah, there's
So
somebody's
there's-
going to fill the
yeah.
gap, but but even just going to like the Sparkos with the Halos,
Right. I
that's-
mean,
that's better
bare
than,
minimum.
That's better than going with your
Right.
regular car
Right.
seat type
Right.
style where there's no restraint
And-
there, or that the
My thing is once you use a containment, you realize, I tell everyone, you realize the steering wheel is just for steering, not hanging
for
on.
holding
Because you see those guys with the bent steering wheels, because, yeah, you're literally hanging on. I watch the old school Rob Mack videos. He's got a hand, like, planted on the cage or next to him, like, holding him up from, like, tipping,
Yeah.
It's like, dude, oh,
Yeah,
so
that's
bad.
crazy.
Times have changed.
A little bit,
Yep.
for the most part.
Yep. So, going to like incidents that you've seen, which one do you think is most controversial? It can be, one from your season, or it can be from one that you've witnessed from other
multiple
seasons.
choice.
What?
No, multiple choice.
No multiple choice. I can give you multiples, but it's all going to be from probably the current season, or the past season, I should say.
I was there for most of it.
Yeah. You had a couple hiatuses this season.
Yeah, I didn't make every race. The last one for me personally was Anago. I got black flagged out of the lead for supposedly not taking the right line past an incident.
Yeah.
And it was the safest line for the safety workers, and they felt it wasn't. So I was black flagged, and it cost me a win. So that's one of mine. But
yeah.
give me some from this year. I'll help you out.
This year we can go right to King and Cade and CJ for Spring Crandon.
I feel that was just hard racing.
Okay.
I don't think CJ did not mean to hit him.
Yeah.
And do all that. That was just a racing deal. Unfortunate. Pro 2 versus Pro 4 lines are different.
Yeah. I think it was just like a 10% window that those tires were going to
Not even.
hug into
Right,
each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were both giving it everything they had,
Yeah.
and that's how it worked out. It ended up being great for a sport. A lot of eyeballs on the sport over that whole sequence,
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that one was just a racing deal, and it the way it ended up, there was no big deal because Keegan ended up winning it. So
Yeah.
it was, if it would have played out a little differently, I think there'd been a controversy, but
Yeah. I think that since the results still led to what was most likely going to transpire anyways.
Right. I mean, CJ would have got around him if he wanted to hit him, but
Yeah.
he was there.
Yeah. That was CJ saw the opening and
Right.
he definitely sent it into it.
It's a cup race,
Yeah.
You take a little more chances in a cup race.
So you mentioned you weren't at a couple races this season.
That was the only one.
The rest of them I've kind of, or I feel like I've beaten up on.
Okay, that's fine. I was just making sure.
Yeah. But you've mentioned you missed a couple races this season. So what are you kind of doing in the motorsports realm now?
Part of my stepping away from off-road driving was Kenda wanted me to be more active in their motorsports program. So this season I was brought on to be the motorsports liaison at Formula Drift events.
Oh.
So that was totally new for me. I didn't know anything about drifting. But now that I've been to 8 rounds in the full season, it's actually a very unique and cool sport. Yeah. I got to do some ride-alongs. I haven't got to drive one yet, and I get it. I understand the draw of it.
Yeah.
And it's actually, when you're in the car, it's very similar to off-road. As far as, because they're drifting. We drift in off-road, right?
Yeah.
The only difference was they have way more traction than we do. Way more controlled. We're more out of control than they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, no jumps. And it's way cleaner.
Well, I've seen a couple of drifters jump, but it's not intended.
Not intended, yeah. Not likely, yeah. But so I've been with that program now, getting more involved, doing motorsport stuff. I was just at SEMA talking to drivers about, the next season sponsorships and getting more involved with off-road. I brought Avery Hemmer into Kenda last year. Yep. So I felt she was going to be a good asset to the team progression, and she is progressing. So I'm getting more and more involved with Kenda. So being more than just a racer for it. I think coming up on my 12th year involved with Kenda in the off-road side. So that was part of me stepping away from racing, is they wanted me to be more involved. So every year we're kind of stepping it up more and more.
Yeah.
And being part of Formula Drift was a big, great people. And actually I'm starting to pull some of them to the off-road side.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So some of them are starting to want to race off-road, and try
That's cool.
So they have a class that's called Pro-spec too, right?
It's similar to Pro Light, I guess.
Okay.
Because it's more spec. Yes, it is a Pro-spec, but it's their second tier class.
Okay.
But they aren't spec engine or anything. The car's limited on what they can do, but they run a spec tire. They all have to run the same tire.
Yeah.
So it's spec that way. But Amanda Sorensen is in that class trying to move up to pro. She's raced Crandon before.
Is Novak?
Nick Novak is pro.
Okay, he's pro level.
Yep,
Okay.
he's one of our top Kenda drivers.
Yep.
So great people in drift, like
Yeah.
amazing people. So I was surprised at that. I didn't know what to expect coming into it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never been to a drift event.
So we're going to Indy next season, so you guys should come down, check it
Yeah.
out.
I think we need to put that on our
yeah,
schedule.
as long
It's
as it
not-
doesn't over.
It's not a race on top of a
Okay.
champ, so I checked that.
Perfect. We like that. No schedule comment.
My goal is to get a Pro 2 at one of the events and have someone drift
Yeah.
the course, just show them, that crowd, what we can do.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be big.
That'd be awesome. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Even just the presence. Even you went to SEMA this year.
Yep.
I've only seen videos. I didn't go this year, but I mean, Trey Gibbs was there with his truck. Even continuing the presence of off road,
Right.
in the larger scene
Right.
like that, and then continuing into bringing into drifting.
Right.
Seeing if we can pull any guys from there. We had Mad Max
Mad
from
Mike.
Red Bull.
Mad Mike. And
Mad
he
Mike,
actually purchased a Pro 2 now.
Oh, he did.
Yes. So I don't know what his plan is with it, but I feel like he's going to be racing more.
So the bug has bit.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's the thing. Once people do our sport, 'cause we have the most badass sport there is, right?
We think so.
Like-
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But
I would agree.
yeah. So when they try it, they're like, oh my God, what is this? How have we not known about this
Yeah.
or done this before, Yeah. So I have some top guys wanting to race next year.
That's awesome.
So-
Yeah. I introduced a roundy round guy to off-road racing, and he said after doing off-road racing, you can do roundy round dirt stuff. A monkey can do that. This off-road stuff is crazy.
Well, that's like when I started racing off-road. I went straight to pro light.
Yeah.
I dabbled, riding and driving a couple things, but first thing I raced was pro light,
Yeah.
So there's nothing like it,
Yeah.
Nothing like our sport. So
But I think that drifting, that could be a good continuity.
well, it is. That's what I try to explain to these guys. You're doing kind of the same thing, essentially. So, but you're less controlled, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little
you're
more
not-
wild.
You're aiming for markers, but not the same markers.
Right.
But,
And you're not judged.
Yeah.
You just get to race to a finish.
Yeah. I don't want to say our sport is full of politics
Some.
or
Not
zero
full.
politics, but seems like the drifting is a lot of politics with being
It's-
a judge.
One thing I struggle with
Yeah,
drift, but that's how they do it. So
Yeah.
we adapt.
exactly. Yeah. So, kind of wrapping up, what do you consider a successful season for an off-road guy?
To what level? I mean, a new guy, a seasoned guy, like
I would say,
success
what
is
do you-
judged differently by everyone.
say you pull in one of these drifter guys
Yep.
and they get their first season in, and what kind of bar are you setting that, hey, this is, let's aim for this, and if we achieve this, that's success. Let's not be overly optimistic or whatever the mantra is.
Like I said, that's tough because everyone's different. What's their engagement level? What's their sponsorship level? What's their commitment level? Some guys just want to dabble. So finishing the race is a win,
True. Yeah.
Guys that come in with money, and expect a lot, you say you want a top 10 to start,
Yeah.
but a top 5 is your goal. They're first year, they're not planning on winning, obviously. But I think to be competitive, even like Ken Roxon coming in to Glen Helen, just being in the mix was a win.
Yeah. Top 5 guys.
Right. I mean, racing with top 5 guys.
Yep.
So I think drift, it depends on the class too. What class?
So let me spin it a little
Yeah,
bit.
spin it a little.
So if you got into a Pro 2,
Yep.
That's exactly where I was
what
gonna
what
go.
would you consider a successful season for you in a Pro 2?
Successful would probably be top 5. because I expect a lot more out of myself, you know. So I expect to jump in and be competitive right away. That's no short order. That's gonna be tough. But if I fall short of that, I'll be disappointed. Yeah, like going into the last season or Pro-spec, if I didn't win a championship, I would have not been happy. You know? That was my goal. You know, I didn't accept anything less than that. So first year in a Pro 2, I would say top 5. Anything below that, not acceptable.
Makes sense.
You read my mind on that.
Okay, I didn't. I didn't know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Thanks for clearing that up.
What would you consider a successful career then?
Career, like as in your whole career, start to finish.
Yeah.
A big one is respect in this, you know, in the whole sport. First, you got to have the respect, you know.
Yeah.
But obviously, a winning career and multiple championships, you know, in whatever classes you've been in.
Yeah.
To me, because I'm a racer, I could go race Pro 2 next year and ride around the tail in the back in a truck that's subpar, you know. But I'm not going to do that. I want to win.
Yeah.
Every race I'm in, I want to win. So to me, a successful career would be championships, a lot of race wins, you know, and just respected in the sport.
I think the respect piece is huge.
Right. That's big for me because that's how I like to race, you know.
Yeah, you want your peers to be.
Right. I mean, there's a few that you're not going to get along with, but that's
but you still could not get along with them, but they still respect you because
not all of them. Most.
Valid point.
Most. Yeah.
Valid point.
Can't keep everyone happy, you know. But no, I think that for me, that's a successful career, and I think I forgot to hit on that, but I did when I raced regionals when they outlawed me here. Forgot to say that when they outlawed the 4-cylinder in the Midwest.
Yeah.
I went and raced out west and won a Pro Light Championship in the regional series.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
So a couple championships, a bunch of wins, you know, it's successful. I don't feel like I'm done. I haven't achieved enough. You know, there's still more, but we'll see what happens.
All right. Let's see what happens.
All right. I never know.
Yeah.
Nothing to announce yet, but we'll see. Yeah.
Is there any tubing in an orientation of a truck in your possession?
There might be. What's he trying to say here?
Yeah. Let's try to get all the secrets out.
Yeah, trying to get all my secrets?
We're just eluding.
There might be.
Yeah.
So what was the most memorable moment in your racing career?
Honestly, that world championship in 23. And part of it was the win because the day before I broke a spool, my truck. So coming back and sitting behind Nick the whole race, you know, just kind of waiting and then being able to finish that off the last couple laps, get by and win the race. And my buddy Creighton had passed, you know, a month prior. So it was a pretty emotional because I don't know if you've seen my truck, Alec did, but I wrapped it in memory of Creighton.
Yeah.
So that race, I could feel him with me. You know what I mean? It's weird. I'm not like a spiritual guy, but you
For
could just,
that race,
you
it
kinda,
was different
you
vibe.
Could, yeah, it was different. And then I didn't even realize it after the race. They took you into the trailer to interview. Before, I think it was before or after I went up, they played a video about Creighton. Oh, nice. I didn't even know that until I watched it like a week later.
Yeah.
So, and then I had grip lock ties on the truck, you know, all over the truck, his product that he designed and developed, and that was cool. And then I think where was it, Oklahoma,
yeah.
where we lost C-Pod at Crandon.
Yeah.
And he actually was with me in the truck. Like his ashes were in the truck and won the championship with him in my truck.
That's cool.
That was pretty special.
Yeah.
Even mentioning back to that spool issue, the way that spool broke.
Yeah.
And the way that lined up, C-Pod got his podium.
First pro podium ever. And
yeah.
ultimately his last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's that weekend. It was this different vibe,
Yeah.
you know.
It definitely.
So
Yeah, Oklahoma, we had Seapod with us
yeah, he rode us
From-
to the track,
from Appleton to the track and back.
and then we strapped him in the race truck. And I still feel he's the reason why I rolled over. Like, is this messing with me? I totally feel that to this day.
Yeah.
But no, that was recently. That was probably the most memorable things I've happened. So
Yep. Well, it's been a joy to be a part of that championship,
no,
Season.
you're a huge part of that.
and it's a joy to have you on the podcast.
Finally got to be on.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's somewhat entertaining for everybody.
Yeah, we've been trying to line it up for almost all season, but hey, off season's the best time, right?
It was a busy summer.
Yeah.
Like between everything, drift and off road and other stuff, it's been busy. So it's kind of nice to be able to settle down a little bit here.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna put a drift event on our calendar. Come hang out with you and see that end of
I
the
suggest it.
world, and maybe some more off road stuff develops this off season, and
We're gonna keep pushing.
we'll see what
We'll
happens.
see what happens here. Yeah. Hopefully, some tubing being slung in the shop.
Perfect.
Hopefully.
Right.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on.
All right. Thanks for having
Thank
me,
you.
guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.